Well, hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode 120 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas Show. We are live through YouTube, Rumble, and on X. And remember that the easiest way to support my channel, my videos, my work, and all the shenanigans that we share and here is to like and subscribe. It's as easy as that. You like and subscribe whatever you're watching, and sometimes I know that it takes a bit more time, but I upload these shows to Spotify, so you can also watch, listen there, and on Apple Podcasts, and I think at Amazon Podcasts as well. I always, confirm. We have a packed show. Let's start with what are we going to talk about here? You know, the small and the not so small. We're gonna address the fact that I know more English than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. A dark secret, or maybe not that secret, about Gavin Newsom and his mother. At least I didn't know about this. That post from Donald Trump on his Truth Social, we're going to address that. We're going to talk about it. McKellen, oh my God, why? This is a problem with that. And we need to talk about McKellen briefly. And he went for, let's say, anti-ICE or pro-immigration. I don't know, but let's talk about this as well. We are going to watch some of the videos that have been released from Jeffrey Epstein. Only some of them. I don't want to traumatize you. By the way, I need to address that this last night was the sixth night that I had, I think fifth or sixth night, I don't know, that I had nightmares about the island. Not that I'm complaining. I guess that is part of the, it comes with the territory, but it's part of the job. If I'm browsing X, if browsing X is toxic enough, imagine now browsing X and you see every day new developments of the 3 million Epstein documents. So yeah, I'm sure that at some point we are going to go through all that. But meanwhile, my subconscious is trying to send me a message, a signal. But meanwhile, I'm fine. I slept like 3 hours last night. I cannot go on with this life. That's why I'm going to include some topics that are going to be a bit lighter, like that McDonald's fail that I made a commentary on my X account. Remember that my socials are right in the description of wherever you're watching this video. And most important, there's also my email in there if you want to reach out for any tips, any comments, any clue that you have about anything happening in the world. It's welcome. We're gonna talk about that video that basically was released while I was on yesterday's show. You know that once I finish the show, everything goes in the show of the next day. Means this show. Unless it's breaking, absolutely breaking news that I have no problem to jump in an extraordinary live stream. You know that's going to happen. We're going to see, talk about this. I put this in quotes because this is not really a whistleblower, because there's nothing whistling or blowing here. But again, we're going to watch another video about that Nancy Guthrie ransom note. We need to address that. I made a long video. We are finally going to talk about Keir Starmer. This is the fourth show in a row that I say, let's talk about Starmer and all this scandal with Peter Mandelson. I simply cannot avoid that today. We need to address this today. So this might be another, remember that last Friday we had a 3-hour show, and you might be concerned about my voice. My voice is mostly in top form right now. I'm feeling great. I still drinking my magical tea. Some of you have asked me what am I drinking for my voice. This is a blend that I found that is basically licorice. This is it's a fennel. I think it's fennel is the name, and thyme. Okay, so this is what I'm drinking, and my voice has improved massively. And if what's up to me, I would talk for hours in this show. But you know that if I want to make these shows every single day, including but not limited to on weekends, then I have to take care of my voice. So we are going to run for at least 2 hours today, but I have so many topics that I have not addressed throughout the week that most likely I will just go the distance and make sure to talk about all of them. Brooklyn Beckham, the biggest simp in the world, and right now, and that is quite an achievement because, well, Harry still exists, removed the tattoo that he had dedicated to his dad, to David Beckham. He removed it. Interesting, right? We're going to address that. Nicki Minaj on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I think he should go home, whatever home means for Harry. I had announced this a while ago. I need to talk about this lad who is absolutely brass balls. He saved his family against all odds. We need to address this as well. And I think that's all the topics that we will be covering today. Remember that this show is 100% live. There's absolutely no AI involved in this. I am the real deal right now. By the way, I need to apologize. Before we begin, I need to apologize for two things yesterday. Yesterday, I had some issues with my sound. I noticed when I was exporting my clips. Remember that every single topic that I will be talking about here, I am going to cut it and send it to my other channels, including the Power Pundit, my American Politics channel, the Royal Rogue, my British Royals channel, the Scene Surgeon, which is my entertainment channel, and the Crime Coroner, which is my true crime channel. If you want to find all my channels, you go to the Bottle Language Guy on YouTube, and you're going to see in the homepage in the bottom, you're going to see the links to everything. And also in the link in the description of this video, you can find the links to every single channel. I have included all of them. So I needed to apologize for two things. The sound should be all right. The sound should be top notch right now. Okay, I checked. It was not the full volume yesterday. I checked, and now I came back. I pinpointed what was wrong. And the other thing is that I had this topic. By the way, I addressed that on the Power Pundit. I talk about this topic about politics. We were talking about Donald Trump and what else about ICE, but it was not really about ICE. It was about this one. It's just I'm gonna show you here. Maybe if I hope. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. There's gonna be a problem because I need. Wait a second. This is last. Let's see. Okay. No. Okay. These are things that I needed to fix before we started the live stream. Okay, the Power Pundit. I made this video yesterday. No, Trump is not backpedaling with deportations because he was not really talking about deportations. I fell. That's why I told you that you have to be careful with the captions and there's accounts that are going for the click. I shared a video of the account on X, Disclosed TV, and at least in one of the clips, they have this misleading caption that Trump was talking about deportations or rolling back the deportations, and he was not talking about deportations. And I have to apologize because in the frantic, going through all the content and just pasting it and talking about that, I didn't notice that, no, he was not talking about deportations. He was talking about the National Guard being sent to these cities like Chicago. So he was not talking like, oh, we are going to roll back with this, with ICE and everything. No, he was talking about getting rid of the crime. So it's a little, let's say, every time I get things wrong, that I will tell you the next day or immediately. I don't like to get things wrong. I got this one wrong. You can still watch the section on my Power Pundit channel, but just in case you know that I'm really mindful of bringing you just the best. So we're ready to begin. But where's my countdown timer? I have a timer for all my topics, just in case I don't begin to ramble too much. It's always ramble. I know that you like the ramble. Let's get ready to ramble. So yeah, the sound should be very good right now. You don't have to force your ear like in past shows. So we are ready to begin. So we're ready to begin with AOC. And I found out today that I know more English than AOC. That is strange, right? Because she should, that is her native tongue. That is her first language. How does this work? And I saw this. I had to check that this wasn't a parody account, says Michael Knowles. A leading member of Congress, a presidential contender, not only doesn't know the meaning of the word qualm, which I've said many times in this show, but seems to think it's a verb rather than a noun. Okay, so you see here, and she posted this, and that is still up. Intimidation is an age-old tactic to qualm public dissent and outrage. Yeah, I remember many times that I've said that I have no qualms calling out people when they do bad things, or I have no qualms calling out bad actors when they manipulate or they do their narcissistic stuff. And I know for a fact that I'm using this word correctly. So yeah, at least in regards to this word, I know more English than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But yes, I think that quell. Thank you, Uncle Rad. I think that quell is the word that goes in here. I think that quell is the word that goes in here. I am not sure because quell is I remember quell, but that's not a word that I use that frequently. Yeah, put an end to a rebellion or other disorder, typically by the use of force. You're right, Uncle Rad 7777. Quell is what, so qualm, I can understand, but yeah, it's, you can get that wrong. And by the way, I thought that it was nice to keep learning English, and I downloaded two things that could help me. One was a massive book of phrasal verbs, which I've always loved phrasal verbs. And yeah, I didn't know that English had so many phrasal verbs. Like, it has all of them. So it's going to take a while to learn all of them and how to use them, because if my job has to do with talking about things, the more vocabulary I have, it would be better, right? So phrasal verbs is one thing, and the other is idioms. I downloaded another book that is it's absurdly, it's like this, with English, American English idioms. I need to limit myself to American for now, although I think that it includes some British stuff as well. And again, phrasal verbs and idioms is like they kind of overlap. It's like kind of overlap. You can say that some phrasal verbs are kind of idioms and vice versa. But again, English. And in regards to pronunciation, by the way, we have spoken about that, makes no sense. So that's going to be fun. But everything to make sure that you get the best shows. Yeah, she meant to say quell, Mr. Tony Parks. She meant to say quell, but you know that's something one can get confused. I can get confused as well. She was talking about this. This is the actual clip that she was citing. She doesn't say qualm in here, but this is what she was talking about, just to listen to her.
They know that they can't go after all of us.
Sorry.
They know that they can't go after every...
I forgot the trigger warning with the AOC when she's speaking. I don't know. I don't know what is worse, if AOC or Kamala, and it's highly likely that we're going to have this combined forces of Kamala Harris and AOC for 2028. So brace yourselves.
Everyone with a cell phone, they know that they can't go after every single journalist who's trying to cover these stories. And so what they want to do is that they want to make an example out of one person that's highly visible or has a position of leadership like you or like Georgia Ford, in order to get people who are trying to do similar things to self-censor, to self-silence, to be afraid that, well, if it happened to him, then it could happen to me, so I'm not going to do it. Because they know that we outnumber them, and they know that they can't go after all of us.
Oh, yeah, she was talking, I guess that she was talking about the fact that Don Lemon was, you remember, was arrested. He was talking about his arrest. I did not cover his words about the arrest because he was already released, but we know what he was doing at that church. Everybody knows that. Then they are claiming that, victimhood. How dare them arrest Don Lemon? How is this? This is some kind of fascism that we're talking about. And there's so many ways that they are trying to criticize the Trump administration, but at the same time, it is understandable. You are the opposition. That is basically your job, while you have another chance to come back, right? And that's why we need to talk about the midterms at some point. I'm only going to tell you at this point right now that we are getting started with this today's show. Make sure you're in the United States. You needed to register to vote for the midterms. And some of those midterms in some states, that's going to start as, they're going to start very soon. I think even in March, something like that. So make sure that you're registered. Maybe you can register as a Republican, of course, and then you can unregister afterwards. And please do not pay attention to those voting deniers that saying that the voting doesn't change a thing. Voting does work. Voting is the way that we change things in our country. So make sure that you register for the midterms. And another thing that we could address is regarding Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This is only for entertainment purposes. if there is such a thing with her. This is supposed from 2022, like let's say 3 years ago, almost 3.5 years ago. In case you missed it, there's a nice video about recognizing a church on its 100-year anniversary. So what was, for some reason, I'm gonna mute this. We don't need to listen to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. For some reason that I have yet to understand, this video became viral in the past 48 hours on X, and I can guess. I can guess that you can guess why. You can guess why, but this is a problem with this kind of stuff. But I need to remind you and shout out to Derecha Endógena, who reminded me of this meme. Hear me out, Jesus. Hear me out, Jesus. As Thomas Sowell allegedly said, I don't think that he said this, but it is valid. Don't be fooled by big old socialist titties. They're meant to hypnotize, then enslave your ass. Yeah, we needed to keep our focus in what matters. And no, I don't think that he said that, but it still applies. But again, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. But my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. And again, I began saying goodbye in this sections because this is the way that I cut each section, and that I sent it, this case, to my Power Pundit channel. So make sure to go to the Power Pundit channel and like and subscribe, everything in there. Subscribe. It's very easy to subscribe. There's your comments, and it's time to talk about Gavin Newsom very briefly. Although I see so many of you say that you're not going to vote. I mean, nobody can force you, but if you want, if there's a saying that says, if you don't vote, you don't have the right to complain afterwards. I mean, literally, you don't have the right to complain. And not voting is a psyop. I mean, voting doesn't work. Voting doesn't do anything. That is a psyop. And it's a very easy psyop to fall into. Oh, yeah, this nihilistic view of everything. The swamp is the same. No matter what you vote, nothing's going to change. Okay, I'm going to tell you, maybe there are worse problems in everyone's lives than just, you register and vote. That's very simple. It's very simple. And again, I'm going to recommend that we should be optimistic about the future, optimistic about things, and say that, yeah, your vote does matter. And this is something that I'm going to keep saying, especially when there are so many people out there telling everyone, it doesn't matter, it's the same, it's a swamp, everyone is the Epstein file. Oh, Donald Trump has been mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein files. And they say, oh my God, this is not again. That's what my show is about as well. It's entertainment, of course, but I also have the responsibility of telling you, you need to vote, you need to register to vote, and you will make a difference this way because I have to remind you. Yes, I am not in the United States. I am not an American citizen. But what happens in the United States affects the rest of the world. I can't imagine what could have happened if Kamala Harris were president right now. That would be a total mess all over the world. Nothing would have happened in Venezuela. Again, what is happening in Venezuela is proof that I'm Venezuelan. I rooted for Trump and campaigned for Trump in 2024, and it made a difference. So it made an actual difference. So maybe you can have an opinion. It makes no difference, all right, but your opinion will be wrong. That is the objective truth. And even if you were right, I would ask you, what are you losing by going to vote? You have nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose. You just go and vote. That's it. You register and then go and vote. Nothing to lose. But one that has a lot to lose, let's say that one that has a lot to lose with Kamala, who definitely Kamala is polling very strong. And I have been doing my part, not only telling people that they should vote, but I've been doing my part telling the Democrats that if they don't go for Kamala as, the candidate with AOC as VP, then they are a bunch of misogynists, racists, and whatever. They must choose Kamala. And again, I can understand that Gavin Newsom is really, really trying to be the candidate of the Democrats for 2028, but I can't imagine what kind of hell freezing over is going to happen that they're going to pick a white guy for that. Well, they picked Biden back in the day, but of course, Biden had Kamala. But I can't imagine, I don't know, Gavin Newsom picking AOC as, or I don't know, is this other lady from Texas? I forgot her name. I cover her a lot. Crockett. I don't want to talk about her right now, but we need to talk about Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom, the amount of skeletons that Gavin Newsom has in his closet, because we need to remember that, okay, Kamala Harris was fun, and Kamala Harris is going to be fun if she runs again. That's why I'm rooting for Kamala Harris running again. That's going to be good business for me, by the way, as the body language guy and as the power pundit. I want Kamala to run again. But I think that Gavin Newsom has way too many skeletons in his closet, including, the relationship of his wife to Harvey Weinstein. That is going to be that should be embarrassing. Plus all the instances that he has, let's say, not being very ethical. I thought that Gavin was the front runner, Margie, but it turns out that Kamala is polling better than Gavin, at least in some polls that I see. And if it's not the case, then Democrats are really, really misogynist and racist. No, it should be Kamala. It should be Kamala, 100%. But we have this. It turns out that Gavin Newsom was okay with his mother's assisted suicide. And as Kevin Dalton mentions, this is absolutely 100% on point. If President Trump admitted to assisting in his mother's suicide 14 years before it was actually legal to do so, that is important. I suspect there might be a follow-up question or two. I know that would be a complete meltdown of epic proportions. Gavin Newsom admits to assisting in his mother's suicide 14 years before it was actually legal to do so, and he's portrayed as hero coming to terms with his anger and grief. I get it. It is, different. This is the other thing that I realized that I needed to use my platform. I dedicate my platform to expose whatever two-faced lies I find along the way, because people are duped by, I am duped by titles and fake videos all the time. I try to catch them all and make sure that you show you only the things that are verifiable. Oh, the Washington Post, by the way. The Washington Post, that is laying off a third of its writers and journalists, quote unquote. Gavin Newsom sat by his mother during her assisted suicide and came to terms with anger and grief. The governor and potential presidential candidate spoke about his mother's controversial decision to end her life and the impact it had on his political beliefs. I mean, I am not exactly against euthanasia or medical assisted suicide, like they call it in Canada, right? MAID. I am not exactly against that. Okay, you know that my beliefs are, let's say, can be complicated at times. But if you have way too much suffering and you're gonna have months ahead, this is 14 years before it is legal. But you don't know. I don't know what were the circumstances that led Gavin Newsom's mother to make this decision. That's something that is between her and God in all cases. And in May 2002, his mother decided to end her life through assisted suicide. Newsom recalled, "She left me a message because I was too busy. Hope you're well. Next Wednesday will be the last day for me. Hope you can make it. I saved the cassette with the message on it. That's how sick I am." Why would you say that this is sick? I mean, people save their loved ones' last messages for the longest time. That I don't see anything wrong with that. Maybe he was trying to be self-deprecating and dramatic, for effect. He crossed his arms and jammed his hands into his armpits. I have PTSD and this is bringing it all back, he said. The night before we gave her the drugs, I cooked her dinner, hard-boiled eggs, and she told me, get out of politics. She was worried about the stress on me. So this is, again, we have no way of confirming that those words came from her. But this is also to frame Gavin as someone who is stressed about politics, because you can imagine that he cares about the people. But again, we're talking about some kind of piece to make Gavin look good. And we're going to see more and more of this in the near future, because even if Kamala is polling better than Gavin Newsom right now, he is, I'm pretty sure that he thinks that he is the anointed one. And that is going to be just magical if we get to see proper primaries and what happens. What are Democrats going to do? What are Democrats going to do? Decide between Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris. I have thought about creating, I don't know, some kind of anonymous left-wing account to push for Kamala to be elected. And if you don't vote for Kamala, I want to, use my wits, like infiltrate the left, and use my wits, my questions to ask people, why aren't you going to vote for Kamala? What is your rationale? Why are you doing this, such and such and such? Oh, maybe she's not. Oh, you are racist. Oh, you're misogynist. That would be fun. But again, I would like to know, what do you think about this plan in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. That also goes on my Power Pundit channel as well. And this one, oh my God, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this other topic. Donald Trump. Oh my God, Trump. This, I woke up this morning to this, like in Donald Trump sharing on his Truth Social video, an alleged video. I'm gonna confirm that, yeah, he did post a video that included like 2 frames of this, of essentially Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as a gorilla and as an orangutan, I think. I think that, well, you get the idea. I'm not a specialist in apes, but you get the idea of the visuals. And of course, the first thing that I did, what did I do? I went straight for the replies, and somebody in the replies who has been really helpful to include the link to the post on Truth Social. Remember that Truth Social is Donald Trump's own, very own social media platform. And that's where he posts like, I don't know, like 10 times every hour. Mostly peaceful memes. It's pretty clear that the Obama monkey video was a Reels autoplay at the end of a screen recording of an election fraud video, which is a video Trump actually shared. What does that mean? How does that work? I'm going to play. This is like you're watching Donald Trump's Truth Social. So to explain what really happened. Because there's so many people out there saying, oh, Donald Trump is just a racist. This is a new law. I'm going to play the whole video that Donald Trump shared to his platform so you can judge for yourself. And this is the way that we debunk the fallout and how the media is having a meltdown over this.
Initiated by a court order, the Michigan investigation team obtained forensic access to a DS-200 tabulator, the machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard.
Okay, so far you can ask, okay, what does this have to do with the Obamas? And yes, this is a video about fraud and the machines. I've spoken about the machines in elections. By the way, now that we're talking about voting, yes, I would tell you that there's mail-in voting and machines. Yeah, you should be wary about if your vote is counted. But if the SAVE Act is passed, that we need to address the SAVE Act all these days, and you need to call your senators to pass the SAVE Act, then voting is going to be the way to change things and prevent that bad actors reach the White House again.
The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states.
So you're saying we're talking about the 2020 elections again? Yes, not that we can do anything about that, but we can change the way elections work, especially with the machines.
These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ESNS machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software.
I need to make a video about Dominion and Smartmatic. And we have here Georgia, for example, and yeah, no image of the Obamas yet.
So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
Yeah, I remember the spike. There was that F that all of a sudden in the middle of the night when we had gone to bed, then all of a sudden just pop up. Just Biden just exploded. Not the man, but his numbers, and that is unexplainable. That is statistically impossible. Nobody can explain that because that's not something that can happen. But no Obama, no ape Obamas yet. And all of a sudden, when we are reaching the end of the clip, that's it. That's it. What did I see? What did I see? You might be asking. I'm going to count the frames, because this is obviously somebody who was making a screen recording. Okay, they did not download the Dominion and Smartmatic video. They were recording the screen, and the video ended, and then it jumped into the next video, and the next video was a montage, an AI montage. I'm gonna see here, video is here. You see that there's like Twitter. You see that this is the counter of Twitter. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 12, 1 second. Well, probably close to 1 second. I would say that it's 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. I'm going to measure that precisely here, just in case. I'll tell you how many seconds was this. It's not even 2 seconds. It's not even 2 seconds, but it's obviously that this was, notice, something that comes from the bottom, and this is a different video that was just part of the capture of the original. Yes, you might say, whoever posted this clip to Donald Trump's Truth Social should have watched the clip in its entirety and cut the clip before posting, and you would be right. But again, it's not like Donald Trump actively posted a video of Barack and Michelle Obama as apes. And what is that video about? That video is from this guy. Oh, by the way, you know that the White House is gonna say this, have this kind of statements. Caroline Leavitt addressed the clip in a statement to TMZ. This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters of the Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public. And yes, this is when you see here, I'm gonna go to this. This is the original clip by Sirius X, but I don't know if I included the post. I did not include the post of Sirius X. No, it's from this guy. This guy is the one who made the original video, not the Dominion, the one with the apes. And it turns out that, yeah, at no point, it was from October 2025, quite creative, I must say. I'm going to play part of this video without the sound because the sound is going to absolutely trigger. So the Obamas, but it's not only the Obamas, it's also Hillary as Pumbaa and Hakeem Jeffries in there. You see the donkeys. Okay, this is, I think this is a premonition for 2028. Maybe this is the key to 2028. I don't know. We continue. That really nice montage here. Pritzker, right? And the pencil neck was on point. This was chef's kiss. I mean, that pencil neck was I don't know, just cinema perfection. We have more of this again. Democrats, they put like Kamala as a turtle, So they were, and they put Biden as a mandrill, right? It's a mandrill. That's how you say it. And and Biden is the one eating a banana. It's just, well, that is appropriate, I think. The thing that it's a good thing that it was not the Obamas or Kamala eating the banana, because that would be an actual meltdown. Hakeem Jeffries, I had nightmares because Epstein Island, and now I'm going to have nightmares because of Timon Jeffries. Timon Jeffries, what is this? This is the stuff of nightmares. I mean, this is. As some, I'm not gonna go say, this is demonic. Sometimes conservatives say that AI is demonic, and then comes Donald Trump, is the king that, fuck's sake. Oh my God, Olivia Juliana, not going to make any comments. Harry Season as a flamingo, Whoopi Goldberg as a hippo, I think. And all of them are, the kings. Even Trump looks bad. I don't know. Even Trump looks odd. I mean, this is terrible. But now you know what happened with that post that everybody is losing their minds. That is not that Donald Trump actively posted a video of Barack and Michelle, transform these apes, but it was about Dominion and Smartmatic. And having said that, I need to make a video about that topic. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. Anyways, Jesus Enrique Rosas, I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. I mean, we have more and more things. AI is doing more and more things for us. For us, quote unquote. We need a timeline cleanse. We need a timeline cleanse right now. We need a timeline cleanse ASAP. We're all flesh monkeys. Yeah, we could say that. So many people don't believe. I am not gonna enter that discussion. That could be difficult to understand, because I have a, let's say, a bespoke model of the universe and the world, how everything works. Maybe at sometime I thought I could share my philosophy in a book. It would be a rather short book, but if anyone wants explanation how everything works, I'm very pragmatic about everything. And Senator Scott said it was racist. Yeah, but the problem is that people are not understanding the circumstances. It is a mistake. It is a mistake. Even if I don't know, I have to, because this is something that you can actually do in terms of propaganda and communication. You insert those less than 2 seconds at the end, or you leave those 2 seconds at the end. You know that people are going to make there's a scandal about that, about the 2 seconds of Barack and Michelle Obama. But people are going to watch the rest of the video to realize that, okay, there was 1.5 minutes of this Dominion and Smartmatic machines in Georgia and the 2020 elections, and then watch the 2 seconds of the thing. You might remember that we were talking about that attack on Ilskam Omar, that the attack was very conveniently placed in time right after she said that Kristi Noem should resign. Remember that? And I told you, this sounds like on purpose, right? Because people are going to play that clip over and over again. And we got to watch Ilskam Omar saying Kristi Noem should resign over and over again. So it is the exact same effect. Okay, people are going to repeat something over and over again. Maybe Trump said, just leave that at the end. Don't take it away. I did not put that in there. That was the one who was capturing the screen. But leave the Obamas in there, because in that way, I'm pretty sure that people are going to see the Dominion and Smartmatic thing. And it's like a way, also a subconscious way to remind people that machines and voting are not a good mix. And that is objectively true. I mean, and in terms of propaganda, it's a sound strategy. You might say, okay, but it's racist. That is not okay. But what exactly do you think is more important here? It's more important to have safe elections. That is the single most important thing. Again, the other thing is going to be AI, but at the same time, you're going to see that it's not only the Obamas that were in there, and even Biden was an ape as well, eating a banana. Okay, Biden was eating a banana. So, and the video was not made by Trump or the White House. So again, people making a fuss about this, but people have also a right, quote unquote, to make that kind of stuff. I guess even if I could be uncomfortable if somebody made some kind of image with me, but I'm sure that they have at this point. I'm sure that they have one. But we need to talk about this. British actor Sir Ian McKellen recites pro-immigrant Shakespearean monologue to criticize Trump's immigration crackdown. I don't know when was this recorded, but I want to take a look at this. Imagine that you see the wretched strangers, their babies and their bags, with the poor luggage plodding to the ports and coasts for transportation. The Lord of the Rings actor recited a monologue from Shakespeare, Sir Thomas More, to criticize ICE. So let's watch this, because in all cases I have a couple of words to say about this, because there's kind of two sides to this coin.
Grant them removed, and grant that this your noise hath chid down all the majesty of England. Imagine that you see the wretched strangers there.
I mean, there's always a great to listen to Sir Ian McKellen saying anything. That guy has an amazing voice. Always reminds me of Gandalf.
The babies at their backs, with their poor luggage, plodding to the ports and coasts for transportation. And that you sit as kings in your desires, authority quite silenced by your brawl, and you in ruff of your opinions clothed. What had you got?
Okay, how do I get some kind of chip to insert and have that voice and that British pronunciation and switch to that British accent whenever I want? I want something like that.
I'll tell you. You had taught how insolence and strong hand should prevail, how order should be quelled.
Taught? When he says taught, oh my God, I want to say taught like that. Sir Ian McKellen, ladies and gentlemen, the guy is a legend. He can complain about ICE. He can complain about, he can defend immigration. I would be a hypocrite if I don't remind you that, for example, J.K. Rowling, who has been perhaps the loudest voice against the trans agenda, she has also have been the loudest voice towards pro-immigration in the UK. So you see these people, in this case, Gandalf, Magneto, you see them defending immigration. And again, I'm going to remind you that I am an immigrant myself. And yes, I, at no point, at exactly 0 point of my life, I have been in any sort of illegal terms in any country that I have visited or I have lived in. 0. And that is perfectly possible as long as, it is very easy. You follow every country's laws. That's easy, right? That is called responsibility. You have some kind of agency and say, okay, I'm going to go live in another country because of, many reasons. I come from Venezuela. I had to leave Venezuela 10 years ago. But I need to understand the laws of the land that is going to be my host. I am a guest in these lands. And I need to understand these laws. And I can understand as well that these people, like Ian McKellen or J.K. Rowling, are not going to be affected in the least from, let's say, the bad outcomes that spark from unfettered immigration. Which is the problem here? The problem is not immigration per se. I am not against immigration. I have never been against immigration. And in fact, I think that being against immigration is retarded because the market for global brains is worldwide. You want the best brains, the best entrepreneurs, the best athletes, the best genes to basically live in your country, to be part of your gene pool, be part of your entrepreneurs, be part of your brain pool in your country. Every country should strive for this. And how do you do it? Well, making yourself attractive to legal immigration and vetted immigration. Let's bring the best possible immigrants, the ones who are going to be a net positive for our country, no matter what country are we talking about. No matter if it's the United States or Canada or Colombia or, I don't know, South Africa. It doesn't matter the country. It doesn't matter the country. That is a reality right now because our markets are global. The AI economy is global. Every single, the knowledge economy is global. So again, the problem is not with immigration. The problem is with the unfettered illegal immigration that put that strain in the economy, and a strain in the economy that people like Sir Ian McKellen are not going to feel at all. He's going to pay his taxes. J.K. Rowling paid like 50 million in taxes last year, something like that, something brutal. That is great. But we know that those taxes, not only from J.K. Rowling and Ian McKellen, wherever they live, but from the people who struggle to get to the end of the month to pay the bills, their taxes are also going to go to pay for these abroadians. And not only the abroadians who really want a better quality of life and they are willing to, hey, you know what, I want to do things right, but the bad actors as well. And it's undeniable that we have a worldwide crisis of bad actors in terms of abroadians worldwide, especially the Western world. You know that there's suicidal empathy. So I can understand, okay, you want to talk and use your thunderous voice that I'm impressed. Maybe I will get some day to have that voice. I guess I have to practice. I have to train my voice to have Sir Ian McKellen's voice. You want to use your voice to be against ICE or pro-immigration. You have the right to do so. But the problem is that you're not going to be affected in the least at all. You are in your gated community, you're not going to be affected. If there are, people who should not be in these countries, just going around, going for, say, fostering bad behavior, that is not going to affect them at all. So they have, they have plenty of space to say, oh yeah, I'm for this. This is inhuman to be. It's like Billie Eilish. Nobody is illegal in stolen land, and now she is in this predicament with the natives, in which her 14 million mansion is located. So, well, things how the tables have turned. How the tables have. Oh, yeah, thank you about that. Thank you, John Butter. Ian. Sorry. I always forget that. It's like Liam. I always forget to pronounce. Thank you for your service. I'm keeping an eye on your comments, proof that this show is live. But that is the point. They can say all that. They will not be affected. It's those who use the subway, those who use the tube, those who use public transport, and those who walk through the streets of New York City, those are the ones who are going to take the fall for these decisions of these leaders. No, that they're not leaders. They want to crush you with illegal immigration. I made a video about this a while ago. I invite you to search the Bottle Language Guide to find it. But again, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. I had absolutely forgotten that that is the way to pronounce his name. It's like I always said when I was going to call Liam Neeson, I always said Liam Neeson. I always say Liam Neeson because in Spanish we always said Liam Neeson. I don't know why, because that is incorrect. That is incorrect. So I'm gonna do some kind of it's a bit of hot in here, but hot is good because hot means that my voice can go. My voice can go the distance. I don't know if Billie Eilish is Canadian. I don't know if Billie Eilish is Canadian. I have no idea, seriously. No idea. No idea where she's from. I don't know. We should be watching the Epstein videos right now. Maybe we could watch the Epstein videos. What do you think? Is it time to see horrific things? Is it time to see things that are going to prevent us from sleeping at night? I don't know. I'm going to talk about, maybe we can address this. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. And okay. Let's get this out of the way, and I'm not gonna play the sounds of this because, well, I'm gonna talk about this. This could be just a bit triggering, but I'm gonna address the recent batch of Jeffrey Epstein videos. I'm gonna keep addressing this Jeffrey Epstein topic because some people are saying that so many things happen in the world. We need to call this out, but at the same time, yeah, it's like the Department of Justice has been really clear that they're not gonna be. They have done their job. They're not going to do anything special from this point on. But we can still review the material, and even if there are a ton of stuff in there that is not illegal per se, let's say that the things that we have seen in terms of some celebrities involved with this guy are damning. So there was this guy who created something called JeffTube. Okay, you can look at that on X. Although at the same time, I don't advise you to visit this because this is bad juju. This is really, really bad juju. There's a question here, super chat. What is the jazz song you played at the beginning of the live shows? I have that jazz song in my Bottle Language Guy channel. You look at, maybe I can point you in that direction when we finish this this topic. I will tell you. So many people have asked me for that song. That is the entire version of the song is in my Bottle Language Guy channel. So this guy created kind of a mock-up of YouTube with Epstein's videos. And again, so many of those you will not be able to see actual stuff, but some of them are quite odd. I have a couple questions about this, and as usual, trigger warning with this topic because well, I'm gonna play this one. You're not gonna see hear any sound. I think it's not necessary. This video, for example, lasts 3 seconds, and it's called "I Knew I Should Not Have Kissed That Toilet," and he has some kind of inflammation in the side of his mouth. Okay, I don't want to know. I am not a doctor, so I don't know what kind of effectively his lip is inflamed. I'm gonna choose again. This is somebody who grabbed some of the videos. I don't think that these are all the videos. Some of the videos that have been released and then put in here. The thing is that we need to remember that this is the videos that were in the hands of the Department of Justice, not necessarily that were in the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. I'm gonna make that, let's say, kind of disclosure, because we also have videos like this one, which is Ghislaine Maxwell in her cell, part 1, and this is 3 hours. 3-hour footage of Ghislaine Maxwell hanging out in herself. And at first, my question was immediately, how did this footage end up in Jeffrey Epstein's hands? And no, I was mistaken, because it means that this footage of 3 hours of Ghislaine Maxwell was, let's say, in the hands of the Department of Justice, not Jeffrey Epstein, or at least that's what I understand. That's why I find logical. So if you want to see, I don't know, if you want this as background, 3 hours. There's also another clip here, by the way. There's a lot longer. You have here this one. This one is, see, wait until it loads. Did it load? There's one here that is like, this is 14 hours. This is 14 hours of Ghislaine Maxwell at her cell. If you want to go through it, I am not going through that. Apparently, Ghislaine Maxwell is going to be next Monday, and there's sworn, she's going to be grilled about all this. She's going to be grilled about all this. But again, I don't know why we have this. Trigger warning again, there's also that video of chasing girls in the kitchen. We saw that this video already of Jeffrey Epstein on the kitchen top chasing some girls. We saw this. There are other videos that are way more disturbing that are only 1 second long. It's like this one. This is only 1 second long. 1 second. A video of 1 second. And you see, I could tell that no, this is not a grown woman. This is a girl. This is a girl, and this is Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, we can. The identity is redacted. When it comes to videos, it seems that the identities have been redacted. I saw this video, for example, and I found this interesting. Let me see if you can. If I can put this in here, it's easier to see this. If I can, let me try to work this easier way so you can see it better. I don't know if you can. I don't know if this was the same area that we saw those pictures of Prince Andrew or Andrew right now. You remember the pictures of Andrew on the floor with a woman who seemed to be unconscious? I don't know if this is the same area. Probably. I don't know. There are other videos here. Dentists say it's fine. Again, same thing. We see Jeffrey Epstein's pie hole for some reason, and we see some math in the background. I was mistaken. He was not a physics teacher. He was a math teacher back in the day. Let me see which other video around. There's one video that I wanted to show you that for some reason was in here in these files. Deepak Chopra. Maybe we can listen to Deepak a bit. Okay.
Happy New Year. For me, this year, no goals, no plans, no lists, no regrets, no anticipation, no resistance. Being is enough. Or should I say, being in love is enough. A love that radiates like light from the sun, denied to none, focused on none, is sacred, holy, and healed. Let's manifest that word: sacred, holy, healed, and in love.
Okay, whatever, buddy. Yeah, we know that you were on it. I don't think I'm going to play more sounds of this. There are other like pranks, something that is happening here. I don't know what is this about. I'm gonna mute this mute tab. I don't need to listen to this. I am listening to this. I'm hearing the sound, and I don't like the sound. But this is like some kind of prank with an this inflatable doll. Again, this is 15 seconds. It's obvious that this is recorded with those old phones that you could just record for a few. There's some videos like this one. You can see in the upper right corner a thumbnail of something that is really gross. I'm not gonna play that. That is absolutely gross. And maybe we can. This is another from the same angle. We see that kind of girl again. This is just 2 seconds, and you see what does this say? See that there's some kind of inscription in that whiteboard. Let me do my magic here. If I can pinpoint what does it say in that whiteboard. It should be is this Cyrillic? Are they trying to? Is this Russian? I don't know. This is this sounds. This is oh sorry, you're not seeing this. Okay, is this Cyrillic? This looks like Cyrillic to me. I could be wrong. I don't know if you any of you know what does it say here. Make sure to mention it in the comments. I don't know. I don't know what is this about. I don't know what is what was this about? But again, also I love the Minions. A video about the Minions, but just the Minions. I don't want to get into trouble because there's a 1 hour video here as well from 2020. What is this? What am I looking at here? And at 22 at night, what are we looking at here? It doesn't look like any of its properties. And by the way, stop playing. Maybe it's a problem. This is a private server. This is somebody who's said, okay, you know what? I'm going to make some kind of a mock YouTube that is not really a YouTube. I'm gonna make this. Let's see, can I play this? Can this be played? Let's see, unmute. Okay, there's a. Yeah, the sound is really low. This is the problem.
That included use of.
There's only audio. So this is a part of the videos that are there. The one that I noticed. Oh, there's this video in Steven Pinker. Well, we have seen this already. We have watched this already. There's maybe another video. I don't want to click in anything gross, which is difficult because I think that everything is gross in here. Is this one? Okay, that decoration is it's unsettling. It says restaurant in Russian. Thank you, Dankus Dankus. So it's the restaurant. And thank you, you as well, Fedra Theodoros. Restaurant. It said restaurant. Why? This decoration is really creepy. This is. Let's try to capture this. I'm gonna capture this to take a closer look at this. I mean, many of these videos, I'm seeing them as I'm here in the live stream. I haven't checked all the videos. I didn't want to. Okay, this is really unsettling. These colors. Why is this so unsettling? It's very bad taste. Will tell you, very bad taste. The walls are red. This is I don't know. I feel a sense of ominous in here. I don't want to detail what is happening here. It looks like a woman lying down to one side. At first I thought that this was some kind of chessboard, but it doesn't. Okay, there's like another one. Maybe it is a chessboard, but it's a huge one. Okay, it's yeah, quite disturbing, and I really I'm not gonna sleep this night either. Jade chessboard. Yeah, I think that you're on point. HD method. I think you're on point. It's a Jade. That's how you say Jade, right? Yeah, Jade. So yes, we have this, and we have the upcoming breaking. Epstein partner Ghislaine Maxwell will testify before U.S. Congress on February 9. She may reveal many criminal secrets about powerful leaders and celebrities. Why do you think it's going to happen? I don't know. Maybe I would host a special live stream, but that's those things last for hours. I don't want to be for hours listening to a lot of fluff. I don't know. Maybe let me try to figure out what I'm going to do. Meanwhile, again, I've tried to cover most of this. The problem that I see with the Epstein files is that, yes, we have the opportunity to see people actually sending this guy emails with requests and cryptic messages and videos that we thought that these people could think better, could act better, especially knowing that he was convicted for what we already know that he was convicted. So that's why I find the most unsettling. And again, this is a thing that is like a catch-22 for me. It's like I would advise you not to get too entangled with this. I know that everybody wants justice, everybody wants prosecutions, and everybody is, of course, curious of what is in there. But at the same time, for the sake of your sanity, try to maybe limit the exposure of to this, let's say, daily. Because I can attest that if you expose yourself to this hours on end every day, it's like Nietzsche said, the abyss is gonna end up staring back at you. So this is my advice. I'm gonna keep an eye on the developments on the Epstein files, but I have to protect my sanity. And no, sadly, there's no tea. There's no magic tea. I ran out of magic tea, by the way. There's no magic tea that can prevent that. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss. So yes, that is my best advice. I know that everybody wants justice, but the problem is there's also a video that I did not paste here to analyze of another victim, and we need to be pragmatic about this. How many of these victims can say literally that they were abused or trafficked and they were not paid anything? And I'm not saying that the fact that they were paid anything it makes all this gross stuff any better. No, everything is gross, but the problem is what were the circumstances and why. This is the thing that I don't understand, and numbers don't help. I like to go by statistics, and we could say, let's say that how many victims in total you think are there? How many women and girls, young women and girls, were trafficked to Jeffrey Epstein? How many channels of trafficking? How many women are we talking about? And how many women have this is another problem. How many women have said, okay, I was trafficked in such and such a way, that they did not get to, because so many of those victims get to this legal arrangements back in the day. They received money, and okay, that was it. And I guess that part of the arrangement, the arrangement that they arrived to was to not talk about the matters anymore, which for anybody who was attorney of Jeffrey Epstein or his state, that would make sense. So, again, this is the thing that, not gonna lie, it sparks my curiosity. I am curious about this. It's just like, I don't know, you could say that is a morbid curiosity, and you would be right. I have morbid curiosity to find out what happened here. What kind of pieces can we connect here? Pieces to organizations, pieces to countries, pieces to, I don't know, anyone who was involved, and at least expose those that can be exposed by the emails alone. Maybe they did not do anything illegal, but we are watching so many people who pretend to be, flawless, who pretend to be angels, who pretend to be, I am like the kind of savior or something, or I'm immaculate or something like that. I could never do this or that. But we're going to talk about this guy, this British guy, Lord Mandelson, who said that I He said, literally, I couldn't have been to Jeffrey Epstein Island because I am gay. He said that, and now he resigned because he was exposed with that picture that we're going to analyze. Maybe we can analyze it right now. We should segue this into that analysis, by the way. You see, is that video here? I'm going to look for that right now. Let's segue into that analysis. Let's start. Now that we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, I'm going to segue into this and Keir Starmer and the future of the UK. I haven't spoken about the UK in some time. You know, the UK, wonderful country, wonderful people. I have so many friends in there, but I cannot visit the United Kingdom because of obvious reasons. I would get thrown into jail in minutes as I step on. Yeah, so people are saying Epstein is alive. I don't know how could that work. There are new pictures of his corpse. Okay, after he unalived himself. We need to talk about Keir Starmer and everything that's going in the UK right now. And a big shout out to my UK friends. You know that I love you so much. But we want Keir Starmer gone. Everybody wants Keir Starmer gone. But there's a problem with this. He admits he knew Peter Mandelson was friends with Jeffrey Epstein after his conviction. Let's see if that's true, if he admitted that. And if he's going to do anything about that, if Keir Starmer is a man, and he's going to assume the responsibility of his actions. Because, well, this was the origin of all this. This picture of this Peter Mandelson on, say, in underwear next to what I can guess is a young woman. It doesn't look like a girl. It looks like a young woman. And just casually, she had us. I don't know how do you call this in English? I know that I know how to call it in Spanish. Albornoz. Just in case, a bathrobe. It's very simple. A bathrobe. I forgot that word. A bathrobe. And then he resigned, and he was a prominent figure of the Labour Party. You know, the same party of this dude, Keir Starmer, and at the same time, this is development, a very recent development. UK police execute search warrants at homes of former Ambassador Peter Mandelson in connection with Jeffrey Epstein investigation. So this is for real. And this is Peter Mandelson saying that he's not in the Epstein's files because he is gay. Okay, he said that. Yeah, I don't think that this looks like being kept separate. On the moment it transpired that was the guy. No, you thought that your gay shield was going to protect you, but no. Well, and some of you are suggesting who this woman is, and I see you, and I know that my attorneys told me, Jesus, don't touch it, not even with a 10-year stick. Don't say that. So, you know, I already addressed that, by the way. But we need to talk about Keir Starmer, and we need to talk about this. Some people are saying, why King Charles, I'm doing this kind of crossover with my British Royals channel. Why does King Charles not dissolve Parliament and call a general election immediately? I was doing some research. You can correct me. I could be wrong. I am not a specialist in these matters. But as far as I could find about this, it's not like the king can just dissolve Parliament unilaterally. Like, I want to dissolve Parliament. Okay, let's do this. No. Whatever the king does is because of a suggestion from the Prime Minister. Again, oh my God, there was no audio in the video. Yeah, I oh my God, I will have to go back. Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the video to listen to this. Let's go back to it because I'm seeing here my audio. I was in the wrong channel. I was in the audio of my browser, not the page. Oh my God! I'm gonna play the video. Let's do this. This is kind of stuff that still happens in my live streams. I will make sure to this doesn't happen again. But okay, let's watch this again with the sound. My God.
Possibly some people will think because that I'm a gay man, I was sort of insensitized or I wasn't attuned to what was going on. I don't really accept that. I think the issue is that because I was a gay man in his circle, I was kept separate from what he was doing in the sexual side of his life. I mean, he in a sense had three buckets of people in his life: the business and the financial, the political and the academic, and then what he was doing with young women. It's possible that some people crossed over, but I didn't. And I think probably the reason I was separate from the third of those is because I'm gay.
Yes, I was telling that gay shield did not work. That gay shield did not work. Apologies for the mess up with the sound. But again, it is my understanding. It is my understanding that King Charles simply can't do that because, well, basically the king can't do anything without the Prime Minister basically being the one who says, okay, we're going to do this. It's like that knighthood to Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, was not exactly the king who assigned that knighthood. It was the Prime Minister who assigns those knighthoods, and then it's like the king co-signs whatever Keir Starmer suggests. So the problem is that actually Keir Starmer is the one who calls the shots. And the king ends up just co-signing whatever the Prime Minister, in this case, Keir Starmer says. So the issue is, in all cases, it's like there could be some suggestions from the king to Keir Starmer, as the late Majesty Queen Elizabeth used to suggest things to Prime Minister. But I don't know to what extent King Charles is willing to, do any sort of pushback with this. And of course, we know that Keir Starmer is not going to do anything about this. He's not going to do anything about this. But there was this kerfuffle, I don't know if that word fits in here, and Keir Starmer was really worried about this.
And we knew this. I asked him at that dispatch box, he gave Mandelson his full confidence at that dispatch box, not once, but twice. He only sacked him after pressure from us. I am asking the Prime Minister something very specific, not about the generalities of the full extent. Can the Prime Minister tell us, did the official security vetting he received mention Mandelson's ongoing relationship with the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein?
So clear.
Very, very direct question. Let's see how Starmer responds.
Prime Minister.
Yes, it did.
we knew the guy was related to Epstein. That was quick.
Prime Minister.
Yes, it did. As a result, various questions were put to him.
Okay, just a warning. I want to make it clear that I didn't realize I was wearing the exact same combination of colors, or almost the exact same combination of colors, like Keir Starmer. I have nothing to do with this man. Okay, I have nothing to do with this. Oh my God, I have to check this before I pick my colors in each show.
I intend to disclose to this House all of the national security, prejudice to international relations on one side. I want to make sure this House sees the full documentation, so it will see for itself the extent to which time and time again Mandelson completely misrepresented the extent of his relationship with Epstein. and lied throughout the process, including in response to the due diligence.
Oh, yes, he lied. The Keir Starmer was fooled by a liar. You know that, yeah, you can do your research or maybe have an interview with a guy and talk about this.
Mr. Speaker, I think it is shocking what the Prime Minister has just said. How can he stand up there saying that he knew, but he just asked Peter Mandelson if the security vetting was true or false? This is a man who had been sacked from cabinet twice already for unethical behaviour. That is absolutely shocking. And that is why later today, my party will call on the government to release all documents relating to Mandelson's appointment, not just the ones the Prime Minister wants us to see. Because this government is trying to sabotage that release with an amendment to let him choose what we see, the man who appointed Mandelson in the first place. Labour MPs now have to decide if they want to be accessories to his cover-up. Can the Prime Minister guarantee that he won't remove the whip if they refuse to vote for his whitewash amendment?
Prime Minister.
And this is when Keir Starmer comes and begins to tremble and his hands shake. So make sure that you spot his body language because this is going to be the interesting part.
Mr. Speaker, the first exemption is in relation to anything that could compromise national security. That is not a small matter, and many members on the benches opposite will know precisely why that needs to be in the exemption. When we were drafting humble addresses, when we were sitting over there, we always made sure that exemption was in because we knew how important it was to the then government. I don't think I've seen a humble address without that in, because and just to be clear, to vote to release something that would prejudice national security is wrong in principle. The second exemption is in relation to things that would prejudice international relations. There will be discussions about security and intelligence and trade, which are highly sensitive to the two countries involved and to third countries. Well, they have to ask themselves whether they want to vote to prejudice our national security. I don't think they do. I don't think, in fairness, that they do. But can I reassure the House, Mr. Speaker? Let me reassure the House that the process for deciding what falls into those categories will not be a political process. It will be led by the Cabinet Secretary, supported by government legal teams. So they will be looking at the question of prejudice. They will be making that decision. The only additional thing I just want to put before the House, because there was a discussion this morning with the Metropolitan Police, is that we are in discussions with them about any material that they're concerned will prejudice their investigation. We're at an early stage of that discussion, but I didn't want to have the House not know that that discussion is going on.
So this is a matter of national security. We cannot just release things just because you're asking, because this is way too important. He could have said that was important the moment that he was vetting Mandelson. And they saw that there was a suggestion, there was at least a suggestion that he had anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein, because if you had a 10% of a 100%, or you have the idea that Mandelson had a 10% of a real 100% of relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, precisely because of matters of national security, you have to say, hey, wait a second, even if we are seeing a misrepresentation, as Keir Starmer wants to gaslight us with, you say, hey, no, this doesn't pass the smell test. Even with that tiny representation that he was fooled by Mandelson. That doesn't pass the smell test. Breaking: Keir Starmer apologizes amid a desperate fight for political survival. He knows the end is near. Should he save the apologies and immediately resign? Let's see, watch this one.
Let me be clear. No one is above accountability. And no one, however well-connected, however experienced, however senior, should hold public office if they cannot meet the basic test of honesty. I also want to address the publication of the information Mandelson provided during the appointment process. I understand the strength of public feeling. I share the anger that people feel when powerful individuals appear to escape scrutiny. And I want to be able to release those documents as quickly as possible. I wanted to release them yesterday, in fact, and to talk about them at Prime Minister's questions. But the police have advised that releasing certain information now could risk prejudicing a future investigation or legal process. And however frustrating from my personal point of view that is, and it is, I will not take any step, however politically tempting, however popular, that risks justice for victims. Because this is not and must never become a political game. The victims of Epstein have lived with trauma that most of us can barely comprehend.
Precisely, the victims of Epstein have lived with a trauma that most of us can barely comprehend. Couldn't you have thought about that when Mandelson say, hey, you know what, I have exchanged a few, let's say, moments with Epstein, even if I'm gay, I have exchanged some moments with Epstein, but I'm in the bucket of the not sexual stuff. Even if you might at some point find pictures of myself with young women in bathrobes and in pants, as they say in the UK, nothing else. And remember, most important, I am gay. Have I said before that I am gay? I have the gay badge, I have the gay protection, I have the gay shield. Maybe that can, I don't know, speak in my favor, no matter what kind of relationship I had with Jeffrey Epstein.
And they've had to relive it again and again. They have seen accountability delayed and too often denied. To them, I want to say this.
The sound, okay, coming back.
I am sorry.
No.
Sorry for what was done to you.
Lies.
Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him.
Sorry for having believed Mandelson lies. So you appointed him just because he gave you his word. Oh, I swear, I am gay. I have nothing to do with young women in bathrobes. None of the sort now.
And sorry that even now, you're forced to watch this story unfold in public once again. But I also want to say this. In this country, we will not look away.
Oh, you look away from the rape gangs. You look away from the dingus. You have certain experience looking away from actual troubles that are destroying the fabric of your culture and your civilization. But
we will not shrug our shoulders.
You do all the time.
And we will not allow the powerful to treat justice as optional.
You are the powerful that treat justice as optional. There's no powerful over you, here. You're the Prime Minister, for fuck's sake.
We will pursue the truth. We will uphold the integrity of public life. And we will do everything within our power and in the interests of justice to ensure accountability is delivered. That is what the public expects. That is what the victims deserve. And it is what I will do.
Okay, yeah, whatever you say. This is worse than I thought. This is really worse than I thought. I should have talked about this a few days back, but again, this shouldn't end well. But the problem is that these weasels have this uncanny ability to just maybe they will fabricate some kind of a scandal, some external scandal, something else. Okay, in the following days, I don't know. Right now they are going after X. They don't like the fact that in X people are spewing this racist and bigotry lies and stuff, and they want to ban X in the UK as well. I don't know if they want to go through with that, but they don't like the fact that they're being exposed. And I don't know how long that mask is going to stay in place. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. But I was amateurish that section without sound. Yes, I'm really mindful of making sure that everything is on its place before starting out. I need to talk about, maybe we can move on to the lighter topics. I have a couple lighter topics here that I want to share with you, but let me see. Okay, we are not out. Oh my God, we have to talk about TPUSA. We need to talk about McDonald's as well. We need to talk about TPUSA. We need to talk about TPUSA and this lady who is a kind of a whistleblower or something like that. Some of you wanted this so badly. We're about to talk about this. Just 30 seconds of a pause of 30 seconds, and we will be ready. How much time do we have? We can go the distance today. We can go, I don't know, 2 hours and a half, maybe not 3 hours, but let's see. So it turns out that the Turning Point USA drama became, all of a sudden, had this twist with this lady, Aubrey Leach, who released a video saying that she was unjustly fired from Turning Point for apparently disagreeing with, say, the circumstances which surround Charlie Kirk's assassination. I'm trying to paraphrase here because she was a bit cryptic during the video. I already watched this video. I did not wait for the show to react to this with you. And a couple things that I'm going to advise you to pay attention to is to, if you are watching this, or maybe if you're listening to this show, if you're listening to this video, you're not going to be able to see it. But if you're watching the video, which I strongly encourage you to, notice all the cuts and notice all the changes of hairstyle, which is a bit odd. But again, let's hear her recollections of events, and let's see if we can find anything odd about this. So she was fired from Turning Point, and she has something to say to the world right now. Let's address this video.
My name is Aubrey Leach, and I am the former public relations manager for Turning Point USA. And I was a part of the recent kind of mass termination group at Turning Point, and was let go about 3 weeks ago. And at the time of my release, I was working for the ATK company, which is spokesman Andrew Colvet's private business that contracts out with the Turning Point kind of ecosystem. So encompassing of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action. I was working directly for him. Prior to that, I did work for Turning Point USA.
I don't know if you noticed that there was an edit, that was a cut in there, but we continue.
So I've been with the organization since 2021. So my boss, Andrew Colvet, and I had a very close working relationship. I talked with him on a weekly, if not daily basis. My tasks were assigned by him to me. Working directly for him was a challenge and very intimidating because, you know, he was Charlie's right-hand guy, always in Charlie's ear, constantly. And so it was very important to me to be an impressive and loyal employee to Andrew, to which I believe I certainly was. I did so many things for that company. I worked many, many hours outside of my general kind of understanding.
Okay, I noticed a couple of things here when she was saying about her work. Notice that her blinking rate, I'm going to replay the last 10 seconds just to make sure to pinpoint her blinking rate that goes through the roof when she starts talking about all the work that she did.
And loyal employee to Andrew, to which I believe I certainly was. I did so many things for that company. I worked many, many hours outside of my general kind of understanding of what this job entailed. And I had no problem with it because I wanted to work hard for both Andrew and Charlie, for my coworkers, and for the Lord. And that was the expectation that Charlie had for us as well, was to work very hard. I really believed in the mission of Turning Point and what we were doing.
Yeah, you saw that there was an edit there as well. So at least 2 edits so far.
So,
and another edit, and you see another hairstyle.
Taking you back all the way to 2021 when I first started working at Turning Point, let's be honest. Being a conservative was not very cool or trendy back then. I think we really owe it to a lot of the work that Charlie put in and us at Turning Point put in. It kind of made conservatism more cool and trendy. But back then, it wasn't very cool. And so it was such a beautiful thing to be kind of plopped into this place of employment where everybody was so like-minded. It was just such a fun place to work.
Notice that there was another edit when she was talking. This is what I don't understand. She looks really eloquent. She looks like she can talk like on one sitting of all this. And I don't know what the edits are for, because it looks like she could talk very naturally. But this, we were talking about that with the Nancy Guthrie videos from her family. They were reading these videos to the whoever abducted her, and that reading made that unauthentic, and that's why I find this. I mean, I'm not saying that it's exactly bad, but if you can talk about all these talking points on a single sitting, on one sitting without editing, that would be much better for you.
I had nothing but wonderful experiences right from the start. But then in, I'd say around 2022 or 2023, things kind of started to change. The energy kind of had shifted within the organization as a whole. And I believe that stemmed from Charlie sort of taking a step back and kind of more taking that true CEO leadership role. And Charlie decided to entrust some of these people that had been working at Turning Point and some outside hires to kind of take more of a leadership position within the organization.
Okay, I see the blinking and I see stuff, but she says some of these people, but she's saying that Charlie took a step back and he entrusted these people. I find it interesting that she doesn't mention who these people are, just because I think that there should be no problem, right? If Charlie was entrusting people at the top or in leadership positions, those leadership positions were going to be really public. So I don't think that's going to be a secret to anybody. She's really revealing a secret or anything of the sort. So why not mention that?
And I don't blame Charlie for that. I kind of understood where things were going. I wasn't a big fan of the energy and kind of environment shift, but I understood why things like this needed to happen.
Notice all the cuts in here? Notice that.
Fan of the energy and kind of environment shift, but I understood why things like this needed to happen. These people that Charlie...
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? What is this? Why do you have to do like two cuts in the middle of a sentence? I don't know. Again, it doesn't... I'm not saying that this has a deeper meaning. I'm just saying that you're going to record a video that you know that is going to be consequential for you, your profession, your life. It's going to make waves, I don't know, and you do this sloppy work and you say that you work hard. I don't think this should be your introduction. This is your introduction to the world. So I think that you should have been more, I don't know, polished about this.
But I understood why things like this needed to happen. These people that Charlie put into leadership positions, I didn't always agree with, but I was certainly in no place to judge the discretion of my CEO. I trusted that he put the right people in charge, but over time I pretty quickly learned that some of these people in leadership positions were not people that I felt were either prepared or qualified to be or deserving to be in that role.
Then there was another cut, 2 more cuts in fact, and she's still talking about these people in leadership positions that again have to be very public. And why doesn't she just name them? She has been fired. What is the problem on naming them?
Fast forwarding a few years from that time I just spoke about in 2022, 2023, all the way up until September 10th, 2025. Obviously, it was
another cut.
An extremely traumatizing day for everyone. I think pretty much everyone in the world with any amount of sanity was slightly traumatized by what they saw. It was
an
extremely traumatizing day for me. And I worked nonstop. My phone received hundreds of phone calls on September 10th, thousands of text messages, and multiple times I kind of got reprimanded for not being responsive enough to people, but I literally just could not keep up with everything that was happening between my email and my personal phone and my work phone. It was just nonstop. And I've seen a video of a coworker of mine who was also released from Turning Point. She spoke about 20-hour days. Yeah, absolutely. Those were very, very real, especially for those first 2 months post Charlie's assassination.
Okay, you can imagine that it was a bit, traumatic for everyone and traumatic for the organization as well. So anybody could imagine that, what is going to happen right now? Although she said that it was up to 2 months after Charlie was assassinated. How does that work exactly? How do you have a barrage of calls for 2 months? Calls regarding what exactly? What are we talking about? Because I can understand a barrage of calls in the first 48 hours. I can understand a barrage of calls in the first week after Charlie was assassinated, but for 2 months straight, and I don't know what kind of calls are we talking about here. So she wants to make the point that she was working her ass off. Okay, she was this model employee of the month, whatever. She was busting her ass answering these emails and this call. Okay, nice. I guess that is part of the job. Okay, you sign up for a job, right?
In December, we obviously had America Fest here in Phoenix, Arizona, and that was nonstop work too. And so really it's just been go, go, go for almost the past 6 months.
Okay, she mentions, for example, America Fest, and I don't think that if, let's say that Charlie Kirk was not assassinated, that I'm pretty sure that an organization like Turning Point, that is a lot of work. Always. I don't think that, okay, this is going to be a bit slower. And then she's saying, we organize America Fest, that was also go, go, go. That's going to be go, go, go no matter what. Charlie was alive or dead. That was going to be a given. I've seen the videos of America Fest in 2023 and 2024, and it was brutal. So I can guess that it was brutal for everyone involved. So you know what you signed up for. It's like working for Apple under Steve Jobs. You know what you signed up for. So what are you complaining about?
With no extra compensation, no breaks, no real, hey, let's grieve as a family.
Let's grieve as a family. She's complaining 2 months after Charlie Kirk was assassinated that they didn't have the opportunity to grieve as a family. And you remember that was one of the complaints that Candace Owens had about that Zoom call from Erica Kirk that so many people have mocked, that she was treating Turning Point as if it was a family. So let me get this straight. Treating your organization as a family is bad or is it good? You need it or you don't need it? I personally, this is my personal, let's say, opinion about any 9 to 5. If you are working for a 9 to 5 and they treat you as family, it depends of the, let's say of the organizations. It depends from organization to organization, because I know of people who are really happy with their workplace and maybe they don't call it a family. Calling it a family, I always find it creepy. It sounds like LinkedIn hypocrisy. All right, but it's normal. Everybody calls the company, the family, but it's usually the higher up. So I'm not surprised that Erica could have said at some point, this family, it's normal. That is normal speak, corporate speak. That is appropriate. I don't know. Some people feel like that, but that you were, I don't know, you are complaining that you have this amount of work, like 2 months in, and there was no time to grieve properly as a family. What do you think that Charlie would have wanted or what if he could say, if we could send a message from the afterlife, what do you think that Charlie would have wanted? He would have wanted for all this. Yeah, let's make sure all conservatives rally behind this, behind the reality that the left-wing media, everything, Democrats, liberals, the woke mob, have created this monster that is brainwashing people, and that brainwashing killed me. That's what Charlie would have wanted. And you are complaining, oh, you couldn't grieve properly as a family. What Charlie would have wanted, I am sure, 100% sure about this, is for everybody to literally work their asses off. And I want anyone to correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm open to being corrected. I'm pretty sure that the only way that Charlie Kirk could build Turning Point USA was going the Steve Jobs way. Everybody here is going to work to the edge of the limits, and we're going to look out for everybody at the same time. This is not going to be a family, because treating an organization as a family is, linked in corporate speak that nobody wants. But if you are hired, you know what it means. It's going to be hard work. It's going to be really fulfilling, but it's going to be hard work. So again, I see complaining. I see wording here that let's grieve as a family. Like, you were 2 months after the fact and you were complaining about that. I don't know. Maybe you're not a slave. You can quit. There's the door right there. You can just quit. You can just go away. It's just like, this is the thing. I can't be cynical because people really need the check. Because if you need the check, if you need that it means hard work, you have to keep your head down and work, you go for it. Or else you look for a job anywhere else. I mean, I am not maybe the best example because I have always loathed being working for another people. It's something that I simply cannot stand. I have never wanted that, and I put myself in a position to not work for anyone else. But if you're complaining about that, then do something about that. If you're so proactive, if you can work your ass off for months answering emails, then why not do something to change your own reality? Again, this is empty complaining. This is complaining about, I don't know, stupid things.
Let's take some time and we'll pick back up where.
You remember that Erica gave everybody the opportunity to, if you need some time, take some time, and she's complaining that she was not given any time. That when that Zoom call leaked by Candace Owens, that we don't know if this was this woman, the one who leaked that Zoom call, Erica Kirk started those exact same words. So I don't understand what is her point.
Where we left off in just a little while. And I wasn't necessarily expecting that. Charlie was someone who always expected us to push through and to continue to work. However,
there's the proof. What I just said.
I think that these are extremely unprecedented circumstances in which we were all under. And so that was a huge turnoff for me at the organization, was just how everything has been handled since 9/10.
Oh, you wanted them to hold your hand. You wanted them to hold your hand and tell, everything is going to be okay. You know what step up means? I don't know. I don't know.
During the memorial, for example, I literally did not sleep for over 48 hours. Despite all of that, I want to go ahead and fast forward to my termination.
Okay, there's this comment from Margie, for example. I think they ramped things up too much after his death when the team wanted to slow down. I don't think that whatever the team wants counts. Because, again, I think that if Charlie could send a message from the afterlife, you need to at least, okay, I'm dead, but at least you need to use this as a stepping stone to unite united conservatives, rally conservatives around this, about this problem that killed me. And this is urgent. This is what I don't understand. So many people saying that, they sold so many shirts. Because they need the funding. I don't understand how people think these organizations work. And if that, I saw a poll, I think it's Brita, made a poll about if it's not Erica, the CEO of Turning Point, who do you think should be the CEO of Turning Point. Nobody. Turning Point should just disappear, dissolve. It's done. Turning Point was just Charlie Kirk. Do you think that's what Charlie Kirk would have wanted? Because I don't think so. I don't think that's what he would have wanted.
Which took place about 3 weeks ago. And I was brought into an office to have a discussion just generally about my employment. It was myself, Andrew Colvett, and Marina Muniz, who is the CMO of Turning Point USA, who I used to work for when I was just full-time with Turning Point prior to joining the ATK company. They pulled me into a room and they sat me down and told me that there were 2 instances they wanted to talk to me about, one of which is pretty irrelevant to this timeline, so I'm just going to talk about the one, which was an Uber ride that took place allegedly in the months of either October or November of 2025. And what was told to me was that a Turning Point executive got into an Uber one day and they randomly just kind of started talking about Turning Point. And the executive asked the driver, what do you think about Turning Point? And the driver proceeded to tell the Turning Point executive, well, it's just really sad. I've heard the organization's really going downhill. There's not really a direction and nobody likes Erica. And the Turning Point executive proceeded to ask this Uber driver, well, who told you that? And the Uber driver told the Turning Point executive that his daughter was good friends with a girl that worked at Turning Point way back when in high school.
You saw all the edits. Maybe you're listening to this and you didn't see them, but along the last 10 seconds, there were 2 cuts of her words, of the video. The video had 2 cuts. Why couldn't you just talk about this in a single sitting? Okay, maybe you can cut, maybe you can start the topic of sitting down with the attorney, whatever. Why couldn't you just talk about this, of a single shot?
They had spoken about Turning Point since Charlie's assassination, and that, this was told to him by his daughter. And the Turning Point executive, of course, asked, well, what's the employee's name? And the Uber driver allegedly said, Aubrey who? Aubrey Leitch. And the story was presented to me as one of the reasons for my termination. And I was just a little taken aback because, number one, I'm not really friends with anybody from high school. And a lot of that has to do with my political beliefs. I've been a conservative since I was pretty much a junior in high school.
I mean, I wanted to mention that story of the Uber driver. I mean, there's so many layers of hearsay in there. We can't possibly know if there wasn't actually an Uber driver. We can't possibly know if the executive was making up things. We can't possibly know if she's making up things. There's so many layers of hearsay to that regulation. There's no way to prove that none of this happened or did not happen. So the problem is that, okay, she says that this was one of the reasons that this Uber driver somehow began to talk with this executive. The executive asked him a question, and the Uber driver magically also at the same time recalled her name of this friend of I simply cannot grasp that happening. So maybe the Turning Point executive was lying. Maybe the people at Turning Point were twisting a bit reality. Maybe she is twisting a bit reality. Maybe everybody is twisting a bit of reality, and they all of them reach out to this. What happened with the Uber driver? So I am not even going to address this because I mean the level of hearsay of I heard from that, I hear from this is so baffling that at the same time, if anyone had the minimum amount of, let's find out what happened. Let's say the guys at a Turning Point. If they knew that this could have been layers of hearsay, they could have asked her, okay, what happened? I don't know. Maybe what happened has to do with that other thing that she's claiming that it doesn't matter right now. But I'm pretty sure that other thing does matter. So she's saying that, no, I did not say anything to anybody. But we want to know, do you really think that things were going down or downhill at Turning Point?
And so I don't know who I would have told this story to, and it also doesn't even align with my true thoughts of Erica at the time. I've actually known Erica since 2013. We were doing pageants around the same time as one another. She was in the Miss USA organization and I was in the Miss United States organization, and we happened to cross paths at an event. So I've known Erica for quite some time, and my thoughts of her and nobody liking her do not align whatsoever with that timeline of October or November. So that was one of Turning Point's reasons for letting me go. So unlike my peers, I actually was given reason. However, there's another thing I kind of want to dive into. To protect myself, I am going to preface with Turning Point has not insinuated this. They never told me anything like this. However, I just have a gut feeling.
A gut feeling? I have the feeling, I think, I don't know, but I know
that I was terminated from Turning Point because I am questioning the narrative of what happened to my role model and CEO, Charlie Kirk, on the day of his assassination. What is being told to us?
And there was a huge cut and a huge edit in there. And I want to know, I guess that there's going to be another video. She saying what is... I asked her directly on X, okay, now that you have been fired from Turning Point and you can speak your mind, I guess that we're going to have a second video, right? When you're going to give us your, what do you think that happened to Charlie? I want to listen to her. I want to know what is her take on this and see why does she disagree? Because why not? Okay, so I guess we're going to have a second video.
The mainstream media just really doesn't add up to me. And I'm really hopeful that one day it will. But as it stands right now, it just doesn't. And so I've been here in the background, talking with people, expressing how I truly feel, because as an American citizen, I have the right to my freedom of speech and my freedom of thought. And I have a lot of concerns and a lot of questions about what took place that day and the events leading up to that day.
Okay, what are those questions and concerns? I thought that you were going to give an opinion, not questions and concerns, because anyone can have questions and concerns. That is normal. But if you want to say something, that something goes against the, how do they say? The narrative. Okay, maybe we can listen to you. I'm open. I'm open.
To that day. It is from my own experience that you can't question the narrative and work at Turning Point. That is how I feel. That is how other people I've talked to feel.
Okay, I want to say something about this, because it's not like there is a narrative by Turning Point. And I think that those words are misleading. It's not like Turning Point put, the investigation that has been carried out there. Okay, these are the bullet points, pun intended, of the investigation. This is what happened. No, it's not Turning Point, the ones who have established a narrative. It's the authorities. It is physics. It's our own eyes, okay, that we have been able to, put the pieces together. So you cannot question the narrative of Turning Point. That's what I instantly know that you are coming in bad faith. Because it's not a narrative of Turning Point. You cannot question the narrative. Okay, you cannot question the narrative of Turning Point. What exactly is that narrative? What narrative are we talking about? Again, it would be great to do some kind of interview, but it is obvious that if you're going to do an interview with me, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the questions. Okay, you cannot go. It's like this.
That is how I feel at Turning Point.
You cannot question
the narrative and work at Turning Point.
Well, the work, you cannot question the work at Turning Point because, it's an organization, it's a company. You don't question the work. Can you do the work? Yes. Okay, we're fine. You can't do the work? Well, we will let you go, or you can just go. It's that simple. So, but those words, you can't question Turning Point's narrative, are both vague and misleading at the same time. So again, that's why this is the moment that I confirmed that she was coming in bad faith.
Is how other people I've talked to feel. It goes against everything that Charlie ever stood for. Charlie was someone who did question things, who did challenge the narrative. And I know that if anything at all were to have happened to myself or another employee or any other peer within the Turning Point family, that Charlie would be doing the same thing if we were brutally assassinated in the way that he was.
Yeah, this one, another cut, by the way, this 100% sounds like Candace Owens wrote this. Like, you have to be asking the questions. And yes, you have to be asking the questions, and I'm going to repeat the question over again. What question do you think I'm going to repeat? Why isn't Jack Black being investigated? And I brought that topic a number of times. You're going to ask me, what does Jack Black have to do with this? And I will tell you exactly. That is exactly my point, but we can continue.
He would have never lived it down. And that is what I'm standing by as well. I am not going to just idly sit by and hope that the truth comes to light. I'm going to take action. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to talk to other people. And I refuse to apologize for...
Also, she has started her YouTube channel and she's started her own podcast. That's what she's doing, because everybody is starting a podcast nowadays, especially if you have edgy takes or you're against the narrative. But again, I would like to know, I genuinely want to know, one, what narrative are we talking about? If what narrative has Turning Point, I don't know, sold in the general public, and what does she think that actually happened? I genuinely want to know both things.
For having my own freedom of thought, which is something that Charlie ingrained in me and so many other young people. So really the purpose of me coming on here and speaking with you today is to just bring light to the situation of the treatment happening inside the organization. All of these people who have been terminated were the most hardworking, loyal, honest employees that Turning Point has ever had. And I know that because I've actually been at Turning Point longer than most people. That's public record. You can see it for yourself on these job websites. Turning Point's average length of employment is about 1.5 to 2 years. And so to be there for almost 5 years is actually quite some time. I've seen the media and marketing team, for example, turn over at least twice, consuming of about 40 people. And so I know that these people have been some of the most loyal, hardworking, and honest individuals to ever pass through the organization.
Okay, I guess that you have, I don't know, like the Alan Parsons Project song. You have an eye in the sky. You have seen all these people, 24/7. You know exactly everything that they do. And by the way, this what you're doing tells me that you're not going to go for that open to work badge on LinkedIn. You're going to start your own thing, because after this, nobody in their right mind would hire you. Nobody except Candace Owens, that is.
Because I've been there, done that, and seen it all. I'm doing this for them. And I'm doing this for my friends who I consider family, who are still there, in hopes that they will start to receive better treatment by the leadership there, because nobody deserves to be let go without cause.
So anyone can expect that if they enter in contact with you, they could be snitched on at any time. This is basically what you're proving.
And frankly, it's a loss for Turning Point. We're all going to be better off because of this, because we have removed ourselves from an environment that was no longer serving us. And in my opinion, no longer serving the Lord, which was Charlie's entire intention. The other purpose...
Again, it has so many cuts that I can't count. And especially the uncanniness of those counts. That's why so many people have said that this was AI. This is not AI. This is as far as I can tell, a real person. But yeah, I don't know how many cuts.
An environment that was no longer serving us. And in my opinion, no longer serving the Lord, which was Charlie's entire intention. The other purpose of this video is to bring to light the fact that although Turning Point is an organization that is all about freedom of speech and promoting that, from my experience, it is certainly not a place where that is something that is really accepted. I didn't want to do this.
Missed that
fact
one.
That although Turning Point is an organization that is all about freedom of speech and promoting that, from my experience, it is certainly not a place where that is something that is really accepted.
Okay, again, if you know if there is a narrative push by Turning Point, let us know what narrative are we talking about. Because if this is the investigation, the open investigation and the prosecution itself, that is not turning point pushing something, it's the investigation itself that is outside turning point. In fact, turning point is not kind of pulling the strings or something like that. Something that we could have seen in the videos and yeah, the literal facts of the investigation. But again, if you want to keep painting turning point in a bad light with a narrative that you don't define, and you have wasted our time here, and you cannot define the narrative of turning point and how and what do you think that clashes with that narrative of turning point. So you have essentially not only snitched on your previous employer, but you have wasted everyone's time. So unless there's a second video, more juicy or anything, which I guess that it will have like 200 cuts, this is it's pretty much empty. It has like a few seconds left.
I didn't want to do this.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want this to be the ending result for me or for Turning Point. It literally breaks my heart to make this video, but I know that I owe it to Charlie and that this would be the expectation for me. And so that's why I'm doing it. Everything's for Charlie.
Everything's
Overall.
for Charlie, yeah. Yeah, again, this sounds 100% like Candace Owens. Like, we're going to go full Scooby-Doo and let's see who is behind the mask. And you take the mask out and it's Candace Owens right there. The cuts were glitches of the mask.
It's really disappointing to see the direction in which Turning Point is going. And that is maybe one thing right that they got about this Uber ride is I'm not confident in where it's going as it stands right now. And
oh, so you did talk about this. So the Uber ride was comment was real, I guess. I don't know what by this point.
I'm really disappointed by that because I packed up and moved my entire life back to my hometown solely for the purpose of working for Turning Point. That is how much I love this place. I just refuse to stand by, watch my peers be unfairly treated, and watch leadership attempt to take over something that was Charlie.
Yeah, but Charlie's no longer here. Is attempting to take over something. How can they attempt to take over something if there's no longer Charlie Kirk? And Charlie Kirk, notice the contradiction. A few minutes ago, it feels like hours, she said that Charlie was taking a step back and we're putting these people, while Charlie was alive, Charlie was putting these people in leadership positions, right? She said that. And now she's saying that these people are trying to, I don't know, seize control of Turning Point. I guess that the same people that Charlie had put in command of Turning Point when she was alive. So which one of the two it is? That doesn't make sense. That simply doesn't make sense. Still a few seconds.
Through and through, and something that he poured his heart, soul, and mind into building and creating and maintaining. I appreciate everyone who stuck around for the entirety of this video, and God bless you all.
Yeah, God is gonna bless with your patience, because those I don't know how long have we been here? How long was this? This section was like, I don't know, 30 minutes long. 30 minutes long. This is terrible. Again, this was full of nothing, but I had to address, of course, I had to pinpoint the inconsistencies of her argument. There's no argument. First, she says Charlie was taking a step back and putting these people in leadership. That was not working well. Then Charlie was assassinated. She disagrees with the narrative of Turning Point. I want to know what narrative is she talking about. And my guess, I'm going to place this bet. I'm going to place this bet with you. The next video from Audrey, she's going to be talking about the narrative the same way that Candace Owens says they or them. And she's not going to specify what is the narrative from Turning Point the same way that Candace Owens never says who is them or they. It's the same vague posting, vague talking for what? So the listener fills in the blanks. Oh yeah, of course she's talking about this. Of course she's talking about that. Of course she's talking about Turning Point is running a cover-up. Okay, Turning Point is running a cover-up. What kind of cover-up are we talking about? Everything. As Charlie was betrayed by everyone. Again, it's vague posting. It's nothing concrete. So if she can come forward with a shorter video, please, and she can be clear about what narrative are we talking about from Turning Point being pushed onto the employees, and nobody can speak their minds because Turning Point is this kind of, I don't know, hydra that is controlling everyone and shutting their mouths. And when it comes to work, well, that's basically what you have to do. You essentially describe what working at any company nowadays means. And the other thing is, you disagree with that narrative. You have other thoughts about what happened with Charlie Kirk. I guess that you're going to, you want to profit from your takes. You want to, since you did not reveal those takes in the first video, only the fact that you did not say, she did not say anything in this video about what does she think that happened with Charlie Kirk, it means that she's doing this as episodes. Oh, in the next episode, I will talk about Turning Point's narrative. And after that one, I will tell you something that I saw 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated that I thought was odd. Does this sound similar to you? Does this sound like something that you have heard other times, listen or maybe watch other times? Does this ring a bell to you? Because it does ring a bell to me. And you know what I'm talking about. The vague posting, the connecting. Well, the next episode, and begin with this vague claims. And I guess in this case, Audrey doesn't have the receipts that the unnamed always has. Well, I guess that next time, with a shorter video, and one take, please, Audrey, one take. I believe in you. I know. English is my second language, and I could have said that on one take. I know what I have lived through. I know that you know that what you lived through, Turning Point. I guess that you can, I don't know. If you want to do podcasts that you most likely will, try to do it in one sitting and try to be succinct about that. And we will all be grateful for that. Again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments, and apologies for the longer video on this, but I needed to explain the inconsistencies and how this doesn't make sense. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss. God, that felt like 2 hours, man. That felt like 2 hours. Can you even do body language in a 100 edited speech? Yes, I can, but it's uncomfortable because she was cutting even mid-sentence. It's like, okay, I'm going to explain what is cutting mid-sentence. It's not like I'm going to talk about 3 things. So again, I'm going to talk about my story at Turning Point. I'm going to talk about what I think is wrong with Turning Point, and I think that what's the future of Turning Point. I think it's okay if you edit in between those topics. But I think it's like the you know that there's this sentence, for example, that includes every single letter from the alphabet. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You know, that is a sentence that includes every single letter from the alphabet. It's interesting, an interesting sentence. And I can say it on a single sitting. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Now imagine that I'm saying that sentence on a video that I know that is going to be fundamental for my future as a human being. This is obvious, this video for her. Imagine that if the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You think that makes sense? Because it doesn't make sense to me. I can understand. I have a work, and made videos and all sorts of videos, and it is obvious that this is not her first rodeo. It is obvious that she is not camera shy. She is not, oh my God, this or this is something that it's literally wasting. I wonder if she's neurodivergent. No, I think that she's just a moron. Maybe it's that used to be a clinical term, by the way. Moron used to be a clinical term. It's not anymore because it's like idiot, moron, retard. All of them were clinical terms, but all of them were not clinical terms anymore because people began to use them as insults. And yeah, it's long story, but again, I'm using a clinical term. If I say retard, that is a clinical term as well. You have to learn your history. History of clinical terms. Oh my God. This was dragging. So many people. I saw that so many people left the live stream. So many of you. I thank you for staying here. And we need to analyze this body language. This body language of this dude. Look at this dude right here. Oh my God. So did imbecile. Yeah. How do you pronounce that, by the way? I always forget. Imbecile. Oh, we need to talk about this. My God, that was long. How long was that video? I didn't know how long was that video. 13 minutes. God, my God, it's way too much. This is gonna be shorter. It's gonna be shorter one. It's gonna be shorter topic and a bit lighter because we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this guy. So we need to talk about McDonald's CEO, because he tried to do what is called nowadays, this corporate branding, in which you don't talk about the company itself. The company itself can do only so much, and sometimes CEOs have to be the face of the company. But that all usually has this double-edged sword, because if you're not camera ready, then that is going to backfire. By the way, if you want to reach out to me, there's my email in the description of this video. If you need any sort of coaching in terms of being camera ready, like, the CEO of McDonald's definitely is not. McDonald's CEO, it's their newest $12 burger on camera. A $12 burger on camera. Yeah, you read that right. $12. Somebody should tell him that his poorly hidden disgust during this attempt at relatable corporate branding is making him look like he's the not-so-secret head of a cannibal cult. So yeah, I couldn't be more direct than that. But let's watch him trying to sell, quote-unquote, the Big Arch, the new burger that is called this way. And I say, okay, is the Big Arch like the arches, right, of McDonald's? This is the Big Arch should be an amazing burger. Should be an amazing sandwich. I don't know.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it. Here it is, the Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already. It's in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, you see his face when he says, I love this product. His face says love with a conviction that it just, I don't know, it just fills my soul with a joy. How he is so connected to his product. By the way, the fact that he speaks about food as a product in itself, it's the most anti-persuasive that you can be. Talk about food as a product. I love this product. Yeah. This is made at, and what? Oh my God. He's got the genuine McDonald's experience. He's got the fries. And what is this? I wanted the big fries, and always this is I don't know. I wouldn't say that unacceptable, because that is very realistic for McDonald's experience.
Love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch. Just
I don't think that you're going to eat it.
so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very...
That is a big burger. Man, that is... I've seen burgers that eat this burger for breakfast. That is a big burger, and you see, I really thought I was gonna see something brutal, huge, something that would make a Big Mac pale in comparison, and it was, well, promptly disappointed.
Very unique kind of sesame, poppy sort of bun on it. We've got...
Okay, that really looks, man, like the most regular burger like ever. Like, this is, I don't know how you thought that it was a good idea.
We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with...
Yeah, you see his emotion is, man, you should have called me like 20 years ago when I used to eat this fried chicken sandwiches from McDonald's, and I asked for 3 patties. And I put them in trouble because nobody knew. It's always this problem. How do we get into the computer that you want McChicken with not 1, it was normal, 2, but 3 of them? Yeah, they took some time, but they learned how I was a fatty back then.
So much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it.
I don't know how to attack it. So look at this. Look at this. This is pathetic. This looks like, I don't know, a burger after COVID-19. Okay, and this should look like this. This is an actual, thank you, Marjorie Minge, by the way. There's someone sit on it. This is how they market it. This is the actual marketing. I don't know what, okay, this has this ominous arch in the background. Like if it's, I don't know, Anakin and Darth Vader in the background. And this is how it should look. In theory. Okay, so the guy literally made the falling down meme. You remember that Michael Douglas movie? Amazing movie. I should give it a rewatch. But he walks into this McDonald's knockoff and he wants breakfast. And they say, okay, we are not serving breakfast anymore. And then they give him a burger that, of course, doesn't look like what they are advertising, and he gets pissed off. Yeah, maybe you watch this movie. Make sure that you watch it. But this guy is saying that, how to attack it. It's
got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of...
You mean, okay, for crispy onions, that would be nice if we could see those, but we couldn't.
Coming out. All right, the moment of truth.
Okay, and he says, oh my God. He really looks like a vegan guy. I mean, not only in the attitude, but in the complexion. Maybe he doesn't eat any sort of meat, and he had to eat this for, well, reasons. And that's why I had to use that shot, this shot. You know, this is the shot that I'm going to use for the thumbnail, and this is the shot I used for the beginning of this video, because, yeah, you know that he was not enjoying this at all, and he goes...
That is so good. That's a big...
That is so good. And yeah, he's delighted with that flavor. Who approved this? It's my question. Who approved this? Maybe it was Audrey, who's working for McDonald's now. Maybe Audrey's working for McDonald's now, and she's the one who approved this. You don't know. You know that destiny works in mysterious ways.
That's a big bite.
That's a big bite, and this is just in case the thing looks like worms. These are the crispy onions, because it has 2 kind of onions, and seriously, who green-lighted this? Who green-lighted
for a Big
this?
Arch? It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu.
So yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's like nobody's illegal in stolen land. It's distinctively McDonald's, but at the same time, it's nothing like McDonald's. Simultaneously, we're watching we're witnessing something that defies the laws of, burger making nature. There's something that, I don't know, needed some kind of, please, fool us. Use some kind of AI. Put a burger through AI. Fool us. Don't do this. This is, I feel sorry for whoever was in charge of this, because they're getting fired. They're getting fired.
It's a delicious product. You've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those
gooiness, because nothing is more important in a burger than gooiness. Gooiness. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to mention something at the end of this video, by the way.
Crispy onions as well gives a nice texture, and of course we've got the pickles. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch. But Big Arch, try it when you can get it.
Enjoy the rest of my lunch, and no. Look at him. Look at him. It's like his soul is in pain just by getting his fingers into the gooiness. Even if he has this special, I don't know, sesame seeds, or he's in pain. This man is in pain. He needs a Whopper. He needs a couple Whoppers, in fact. He needs a Whopper, man. Go for a Whopper. Go for Burger King. I'm not gonna lie. The flavor, McDonald's flavor, is unique. It's a thing. But this is not the way. This is not the way to market something. And this couldn't be farthest from enticing anyone with a palate, with a tongue, with a mouth to try this. I mean, you can just go for it. Fool us. Just go for AI. Just go full AI and fool us. I mean, that reminds me. I don't know if you have watched it. Just in case if you have not watched it, look on YouTube. Gordon Ramsay hamburgers. Maybe I can look for that video while I'm speaking, because there's so many ways that you could sell something amazing. I'm gonna look here, Gordon hamburger, and I'm gonna tell you, this is this video. I'm gonna play this. I can play this video. You can play this video. I think everybody in the internet always comes back to this video. Gordon Ramsay's perfect burger tutorial. I encourage you to watch this video. And this video, just in case you don't know, has 76 million views. 76 million views. If you want to watch an actual video about hamburgers, perhaps the best video about hamburgers ever made is this one. I still go and give it a rewatch every 6 months. Every 6 months I give everything a rewatch. I always go back to this video, and the salt, pepper, olive oil, amazing. And he is also not the most appealing person to look at for the advertising, the CEO of McDonald's, but that is the problem. There's so many ways. The lighting, I have to say this is the problem. The lighting is not this. I mean, I couldn't have imagined a more flat lighting. I mean, there's so many ways. There's so many McDonald's restaurants out there that you can find natural light, and you can make it, beautiful. You can make it an actual event. You can try to make sure that the hamburger that you're gonna eat looks great. And just as he's described the hamburger, you have this other shots in which you see the hamburger being made with AI. I don't know, but so many with this is flat, this is horrible, this is, and we also have movie magic. What happened here? Did you notice that? Did you notice the sleight of hand that the potatoes were like this? The French fries, and then French fries, and all of a sudden, let me see. Sleight of hand, and all of a sudden we have more. Somebody noticed. We need to put more fries on that. This was one of the worst attempts at marketing that I've seen in some time. But again, if you need some kind of advice, if you need advice with crisis communications, if you need advice with public relations, if you need advice with marketing or anything of the sort, anything that has to do with the communications, and anything that has to do with persuasion, there's my email in the description of this video. But let me know, what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss. I was about to say the Power Pundit. Why? This is not politics. This is not politics. I have to keep up with your comments. Keep up with your comments. What time is it? 2 hours and a half. Are we going for 3 hours today? Maybe we're going for 3 hours today. Why not? I went full Lucille Ball. I'm serving in I'm a little glass or whatever this is called. And I forgot and went full Lucille with the Vita Meta Vegamin. Remember that, Lucille Ball? Vita Meta Vegamin. Vita Meta Vegamin. I always remember that episode. Let me just check Twitter right now. You never know what is going on with the world. As you're doing a show, my voice is in top shape. Is maybe a bit. It could be better. It could be better, but I think I can go for. See. I don't believe this. AG Pam Bondi is reportedly poised to charge Alejandro Mayorkas with treason for deliberately allowing 20 million illegals. I would believe that when I see it. I want to see the things. I will see the things. I have this. People talking about the Trump video that I already mentioned. People talking about the Peter Mandelson that I already covered. Oh my God. There's nothing new. We have a couple more topics that we need to address. We need to catch up with, see if I'm sure that, okay, I would like to talk about this. I'd like to watch this. I made a very long video yesterday that I shared to my Crime Coroner channel. If you are into true crime, if you are into crime mysteries, if you are into maybe my reactions to police body cam footage, then make sure that you go and find the Crime Coroner on YouTube. You can also check the link in the description of this video, my true crime channel. In the link, I'm going to include all my links to all my channels on the descriptions from now on. So right now you can go for this one. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. In fact, I have a couple more topics that we can address. Breaking the first Nancy Guthrie ransom note. Forget to start the recording. So I already made a long video with the case of Nancy Guthrie, who was abducted, and it seems that I was wrong about the fact that they had broken into the house. No, it seems that there are no signs of having been broken into the house, but we saw the blood stains and we saw some other signs, like they took the cameras away. And so this points at somebody who knew where the cameras were, what was the let's say the schedule, the usual schedule of Nancy Guthrie, was the mother of Savannah Guthrie. That is one of the reasons that Trump made sure to mobilize all these people, and even Kash Patel himself had gone to Arizona, to Tucson, Arizona, to let's see what was going on. So let's watch this clip from Jesse Waters.
Fox News alert: major developments in the mysterious disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother. The FBI is deploying task force specialists all across Arizona. A reward of $50,000 has been set for tips that lead to Nancy Guthrie's location.
By the way, that's something that we saw yesterday, that the reward was only $2,500. Now it's $50,000. I don't know if it was the family who raised this reward, or was the FBI?
At this hour, the Guthrie family is waiting for proof of life. And Savannah's brother, Cameron, just released this video. Watch.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Okay, that dude has quite a voice, man. What a voice you have, and you see that he was reading as well. I mean, how long was he? He spoke for how long? I think less than 1 minute. I think that not even 30 seconds. Let's see. Let me check this, because I don't know why do they have to read that. 20 seconds. So you read for 20 seconds. You couldn't even memorize for 20 seconds. And you were constantly looking downwards to, I guess, a paper. I guess that they realized that people were kind of asking the obvious question, maybe not criticizing. I was not criticizing them, but I was saying that it's very bad optics that you're talking about your mother and you want to, portray her as human, as unique, and you're reading from a paper. Like you can't talk about your mother on your own without using a piece of paper. I mean, that is not the way to do this. In 20 seconds, you can't speak for 20 seconds without using a piece of paper. That doesn't look right.
And in terms of suspects, the sheriff hasn't ruled anyone out.
And I want to be very clear.
That's a way of saying that they don't have anything concrete at this point.
At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet.
Tonight, there's some new details. On the alleged ransom note, it includes deadlines, and one of the clocks just ran out.
I think we start to look at what the deadlines were in the note. First, I think, was 5 o'clock today, and then it had a second deadline after that. So we are continuing. In a normal kidnapping case, there would be contact by now, trying to discuss that.
But there's the thing that people don't understand, and I don't understand either, although I'm not that familiar with this kind of cases. But the ransom note was sent like 3 days after she was abducted. 3 days after she was abducted. It seems that they are requesting some kind of Bitcoin. But again, it's, let's say it is obvious that you want to know that the ransom note is legit. And if you abducted this this lady, you could imagine that her sons and daughters would want to know that your ransom note, if the abductor sent a ransom note, your ransom note is legit, right? You want to send some kind of proof that she is okay, she is right. Maybe the ransom note included some kind of recording, and that's why Savannah said in that video that we know how things can be generated nowadays. In fact, anybody in this day and age could create, even from the other side of the world, could create a video of Nancy Guthrie's, being hostage somewhere, and a very realistic video with AI. So which other way could you prove that she is alive and well when she could say something? I told you that this yesterday we should have like code words with our loved ones. But again, this is so strange, and I can understand why they don't want to kind of pay this amount of Bitcoin. I don't know how many millions are they requesting for as a ransom. Because, well, you want to know that this is not only she's safe and she's alive, but also that these are the right, abductors, the criminals, the right criminals. Because I can imagine any sort of people who can just send ransom notes pretending to be the ones who took Nancy Guthrie away. It's as easy as you can imagine. You can even fake a telephone call nowadays.
But those are the timeframes we are looking at as we move forward. I think a second demand was for next Monday.
The first deadline's passed, and as far as we know, the supposed kidnappers haven't proved Nancy Guthrie's alive. Here's how it all started on Saturday night. Nancy Guthrie took an Uber to her daughter's house nearby. The daughter's named Annie. She lives with her husband, Tommaso. Dinner, games, normal night. At 9:48, a family member dropped her back off at home. But who?
We know she took an Uber to Annie's house, but can you confirm whether it was Annie or her son-in-law, Tommaso, who took her home that night?
I think the timeline that the sheriff provided was a family member, but
just family.
Yeah.
We're going to go with family.
We're gonna go with family. Okay. Why? Okay. You don't want to say if it was the daughter or the son-in-law. We're going to go with family. All right.
Why won't they tell us which family member dropped her off?
I don't know.
Because yesterday, the sheriff told the New York Times who it was. Quote, Miss Guthrie's son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, dropped her off and ensured she made it inside safely before leaving.
It's like I see here, some of you are mentioning that she has been like 7 or 8 days without medications. That is, thank you, Chantal Portlands. Yeah, 7 or 8 days without medications. That is concerning, extremely concerning.
Safely before leaving, the sheriff added. Now, if they know who dropped her off, why a day later are they being so vague? At 1:47 a.m., Nancy's doorbell camera disconnects. Authorities say it was physically removed, and it's still missing. Just 25 minutes later, at 2:12 a.m., security software flags a person on a camera. But there's a problem.
At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up.
Just 16 minutes after a person's detected at her house.
Again, it's like they were okay with their mother living alone in this huge house, and they couldn't even, I don't know, make sure that all this technology, all these cameras, all this security was working properly. Again, this can happen because maybe there are things going on with each people's lives. I'm not going to judge anything. This can even happen to me. But the thing is that if you have an 84-year-old mother living alone in a house, you want to have all eyes on her all the time. You want to have every single eye on her all the time. And we have every sort of technology nowadays, every sort of camera. And you can see even in your phone, you can see your mother is all right, is at home. And you can have it stored in a cloud, not rewriting itself. So again, that's I think that there's no way to justify this.
The pacemaker app connected to her phone was disconnected. Makes sense because her phone was left behind. Now, Sunday morning, Nancy doesn't show up for church. Unusual for her. By noon Sunday, family members go in to check on her, and she's not there. And the police are called. Investigators say the case is now entering a critical forensic phase. They've also confirmed blood was found at the house, and they know who it belongs to.
I think you all know of the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy.
They're reviewing surveillance video from nearby homes, cell tower data, and license plate cameras. But no Nancy. She lives in a remote Arizona desert community. Homes spaced far apart, surrounded by desert foliage. As for the ransom note, investigators haven't ruled out a hoax.
This is important.
There was a third ransom note, but it turned out to be fake, linked back to Derek Calleja. He demanded Bitcoin from the Guthries. One local news anchor whose station received a different note, the one that authorities are locked in on, says the details were terrifying.
A lot of it is information that only someone who is holding her for ransom would know. Some very sensitive information and things that people who weren't there when she was taken captive would know.
Investigators say the letter included no proof of life and no way to contact whoever sent it.
There has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
Does the ransom note that you're working establish any communication protocols in it?
No, it does not.
Harvey Levin.
Imagine no communication protocols. You have no way to contacting the criminals. How do you do this?
At TMZ just spoke to CNN. He received the same ransom note. Here's what he said.
They began the letter. I don't think I'm giving anything away here. They began the letter by saying that that Nancy is okay but scared. So they say she is okay, and also that she's aware of the letter and the demands.
Time's of the essence, and mistakes may have been made. Authorities initially cleared the scene, Nancy's house. Then yesterday, they went back in.
You had the crime scene process. You said you went back out there. Your partners wanted to see it. But you guys were actively taking out evidence yesterday. Was there something you missed the first time, or did you get a new piece of information that led you to believe you needed to go back out and take more than you had that first day?
We may go out to a crime scene and think we've got it all, go analyze the evidence, and something comes back and says, hey, did you check this? We're not going to just say, oops, and not go. Absolutely. In this instance, it really was the FBI just wanted to go, hey, can we take a look at it?
The sheriff cleared the crime scene before the FBI even arrived and didn't have deputies posted at the house. Apparently, reporters were just strolling right up to the door and taking pictures of blood stains, contaminating the crime scene.
Yeah, a complete contamination of the crime scene. That is absurd. Absurd in so many ways.
We also aren't getting clear answers as to whether there were signs of forced entry. At first, sources told the AP it was forced entry. Now, the sheriff says this.
Oh, here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry.
That's what I thought.
I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all, whether it's forced entry or not forced entry. That is something we're just not discussing. So I don't know where anybody got that information.
So there was no forced entry. That's what I said yesterday. That I thought it was they have broken through the back door, but it seems that it is not correct. Again, this has been back and forth. We're gonna just go with family. There was no forced entry. The camera, there was these inconsistencies. This is what I guess. So many talking about this case.
So the sheriff won't tell us whether there was forced entry or not. He probably has his reasons. If there was no forced entry, then someone knew how to get inside. Maybe somebody was already there when she was dropped off. We don't even know if Nancy locked her doors. She entered through the garage, and 2 minutes passed before the garage closed. Was someone laying in wait? We don't know. We spotted this last night. It's called a Celebrite device. High-tech equipment used to extract data from phones and computers. Agents brought it over to Savannah's sister's house yesterday. That's where the siblings recorded their emotional video. Was the FBI searching the Guthrie's family phones? Quite possible. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. It is incredibly rare to kidnap someone in their 80s. 0.2% of kidnappings are people of that age.
Interesting.
If this was about money, why send ransom notes to TMZ? Why not go directly to the Guthrie family? And why not include a way to contact them? Last night, the Guthries begged for answers.
We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
At this point, the only thing keeping the family's spirit up is hope.
Yeah, doesn't make sense in so many ways. I just can't understand, because there's too many loose ends, especially how many days have passed, how little has progressed, how this back and forth of the police and FBI. I don't know. We're gonna keep covering this, but at this point, after 48 hours, I want to remain helpful. It's something that one wants to do. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the crime coroner. Much love and bliss. So again, yes, proof of hope. I don't know how would that work. Maybe I can. I still had a couple of topics here. My voice is holding up. There's one topic here for the Royal Road that I wanted to. Oh my God! It's a couple more topics about. Let me see. Let's do something. Let me do. We're gonna do a quick break. I'm gonna do a quick break. And I will come for 3 more topics. Okay. You're gonna do a quick break, and I will be right back. Right back with you. Let's see, 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, give me 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, what did I miss? I'm seeing the for some reason. Okay, yeah, first stream is slower. Okay, so for some reason I saw the connection dropping. We have more. We have 3 more topics today, mainly for the Royal Rogue. I've forgotten this. But it's like you know how Fridays I want to flush every single topic that I have had pending from the rest of the week, and we need to talk about a couple things here. This is gonna be a quick one. Let's see. Okay. Here. Well, second. In my. All right. You can continue here and let's talk about for the Royal Road. This is something that I needed to address. Oh my God. Let's see. here. Okay, I wanted to mention this briefly because sometimes I say that I expose toxic personalities, but I also expose morons. We had cringe and morons today. Today was a marathon of cringe. We're 3 hours into today's live stream, and we still have a couple of things to talk about. And I needed to talk about Brooklyn Beckham removing the tattoo tribute to his dad. And I think this is crazy. Because I have covered what has happened to Brooklyn Beckham. He's a spoiled brat. He needs a good spanking. Maybe he needs a couple slaps in the face. Maybe a couple liver punches. That is one of the ways he could get the message that everything that he's doing is nothing short of pathetic. And yes, you can see that this is the original tattoo. This is his original tattoo. It says dad. Okay, and this is what says right now is like let's say that he covered it. He covered it with more ink. So it no longer says that. He wanted it gone. He wanted whatever was let's say connected him to David Beckham, to his father. He wanted it gone. I don't know what to tell you about this. I could say that sometimes, things between families can be hard. But the thing is, you could have problems within your family because everybody has, to some extent, there's always, families are not about conflict, but conflict is unavoidable in terms of family because especially if you are your own person. If you have a strong personality, you will always have clashes between family. That is normal. What is not normal is to be whining about it for all the world to see. That is what is pathetic. Especially, and I have to say especially in a man. And you might be saying that, this guy is no man. He's just a kid. No, he's not a kid. He's a grown man that has gone through all these confusions in life that this lady married him, obviously, because he's a Beckham, because he's basically, I'm going to try to make this frame better here. Okay, it's going to look better here. This way. And how can I say this? You can have a conflict with your family. You can have conflict in your life. You can have those problems behind closed doors. But the thing is that, yes, that is the term, behind closed doors. Not bring it to the public eye, because that is bad taste. Maybe that is the only way that you can attract attention. And this has happened. This has happened in, let's say, over a longer period of time with Meghan and Harry. We have seen this in so many instances with them, with so many examples with them. But I think this guy is not hiding the fact that he has nowhere to go with his life, has absolutely no aim, because, well, we really don't know what he's doing right now, what he stands for, what are his goals in life. And this feud in Brooklyn Beckham has dealt another blow to his dad David by covering up a tattoo paying tribute to him. He has hidden the word dad on his anchor tattoo with 3 nondescript shapes. Okay. Source said Brooklyn's had laser treatment on the writing. He wanted it gone. The cover-up on Brooklyn's right arm was spotted while he was out in Los Angeles with an actress wife. I haven't seen one thing with her, but I want to address this. I think that this is very quick. It's absolutely normal to have conflicts inside families. That is normal. what is not normal is trying to expose your family to things that should be solved inside the family. Again, I have a wake-up call, not only for Brooklyn Beckham, but for anyone else. Absolutely nobody cares about your problems. Absolutely nobody cares about your family. This is a fact. You need to, and in fact, this is great. This is great, because the fact that nobody cares about you or your family means that you don't need that. Oh, what is people going to say about me? That is great. That is liberating. Nobody's going to say anything about you because nobody cares about you. But there are people like Brooklyn Beckham that are the opposite, like Prince Harry, who are the opposite. I want people to be mindful of what I'm doing, because that is the only way that they can have this sort of reinforcement, of confirmation that they exist, because there's no other thing that they would be doing. There's no other confirmation, no goals, not aspiration, nothing. That's how Harry has been living for some time, and that's how this no-gooder has been doing for some time. So this is just a quick reminder that, yes, it's okay to have issues inside families. Yes, it's okay to have conflict, but make sure to keep those inside the family, because exposing them is, especially if you're a man, it makes you look like weak. I'm going to say the word weak, but I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss. And there's another topic. I'm going to jump right into the other topic. Right here. Why it doesn't change? Change my screen. Okay, my screen has changed. I wanted to talk about this video. I wanted to talk about this video of Nicki Minaj and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Let's just address this very quickly to see what is going on and what does she know? What is her opinion on the Montecito morons?
I think he should go home, like E.T. He should go phone home and then go home. I did not think he should have aired the family's dirty laundry, but that's just me, darling. I have nothing but love for them, for everyone, but I love the royal family as if I know them. But I think Americans, we love the idea of the royal family so much. And I just was like, but people do things and you don't know why and you don't know what's going on inside of them. So I don't judge. But I was like, oh man, because I felt like I knew them in some ways.
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is a word salad than Megan's. Okay, she's got a point. The point still stands. They should have never aired the dirty laundry of the family, which is the same point. This could have been a single video. Maybe I will blend both clips in the same video, because basically it's the same topic. Is that you should not air the dirty laundry, because the problem is it's like I'm trying. I should scrape this. I don't know. I should scrape this. I will throw that on the Royal Rogue either way. Because it's like the same topic, right? What these people are doing to their families. Okay, no problem. You could have had a rough childhood, Harry, but please, what you have been doing is not it. You have to go home. Although I don't know what could Harry call home right now. Oh my God! Yeah, the nails. The nails is something that I was trying to understand. Okay, how I have so many questions. It's like Cynthia Erivo and those nails, but I'm not gonna judge. Again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. I'm maybe I should leave this at 2 hours, not 3 hours. This is way too much. But I should be training. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss. Oh my God, I'm also hungry. I need to go to have dinner. Maybe I could just say goodbye for today. It's 3 hours. 3 hours. This one, just one topic, but I'm going to say that I call it a day because I'm hungry. I mean, 2 hours is the sweet spot for my show, but today I wanted to just take my time. Some topics I wanted to talk about them at large, and I did. And well, I did. I want to read your super chats. I know that I have a couple super chats in there. Let me see. Oh yeah, she's got up one. Oh, there was the super chat. Buffy loves Miami. What is the jazz song you play in the beginning of the live shows? You can find it on my Body Language Guy channel. Let me see how to look for it. Wait a second. Let me look for it myself. Right here. Let me look for it myself. Let me do the work for you. Susan Rica Rosas. Here you have it. You can look for the Body Language Guy. You look for Jesus Enrique Rosas show intro theme 1 hour. I went for, instead of just adding that once, I went and I just made a montage of the same song, the full song, to my intro, to my show for 1 hour. So just go there and you can listen to it for 1 hour. There you have it. That's in the Body Language Guy. Jesus Enrique Rosas show intro theme. You will find it 100%. And Mala Moj. Hola Jesús, saludos desde Texas. Gracias por exponer esto. I don't know what you're referring to, but I appreciate your super chat. Thank you for reaching out. So many things that I've exposed today. Yeah, I did. I want to go have dinner. I'm hungry. I was hungry when talking about the burgers. I was hungry when talking about the burgers. I'm a bit tired right now. Has been great. Maybe. Oh my God. Yeah, steak and French fries and I don't know, a lot of guacamole and yes. Go for it. Maybe I will talk about the kid who saved his family yesterday. We will have show tomorrow. But notice I need carbs. I need food, not a product. I need food right now. My Body Language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. And until we meet another video tomorrow on episode 121, it's gonna be 2 hours. Remember the most important words. Much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.